The boys are back in town, and we're throwing down in the once-a-season throwback race for the BRB Buttkicker Cup Series. We rejoin the Season 4 campaign going into race number 12, otherwise known as the RevSimShop.com 200, and we could not be more excited. Welcome to Pit Stop TV and the virtual Rockingham, North Carolina. My name is Andrew Cardinale IV with Zach Murdos alongside, and it's a pleasure to join you for coverage of the BRB Buttkicker Cup Series. Tonight's coverage from The Rock is brought to you by the Buttkicker, by Ascendance Trucking, by Ideal Lease, by Sundance Pizza, by Maddox Graphics, and by Whiplash Sim Cams. Welcome one, welcome all, Zach. We are finally back with racing here at Rockingham Speedway. It is so good to be back on a Tuesday night with sim racing here on Pit Stop TV. I got my fill of legend cars at Charlotte. I think we can go back to the sim racing. We can bring this back, right? We can get right back into the groove of things. Before we go any further, I do want to give a massive thank you to Robert Moyer and all of Freaky Fast Broadcasting for stepping in for us. We had some plans in place to give you alternative coverage here on the channel. Those plans fell through. They stepped up and they filled that void. They filled that gap, that stopgap, if you will, in between the coverage segment at the beginning of the season and here beginning at the end of the season. So a big thank you to Robert Moyer Jr., Sam Dyer, everybody at Freaky Fast Broadcasting. Thank you for being here for us and helping the league out in a big way. BRB really does appreciate it. Here at Pit Stop TV, we appreciate it. And we're glad to take back over here to the end of the season. Zach, let's take a look at this track map. It's going to be fun.
I love this short track on iRacing here. It's a lovely racing facility, just being brought back this year for NASCAR Xfinity Series and the NASCAR Truck Series, and surprisingly going up for sale. But that doesn't discount the fact that Rockingham is an absolutely amazing facility. There's been so many great classic nail-biter races here. Most of the time, whenever you come to Rockingham, you usually think about Casey Kane and Matt Kenseth, or Casey Kane and Matt Kenseth. There's just so many good things about Rockingham. I love this track. I love the multi-groove racing that it provides as well. This track has so much great stuff about it. You can utilize the outside and the inside in 3 and 4 mainly. The bottom is going to work the best in 1 and 2, but that exit narrows up on turn 2.
That it does. You can see it there in the B-roll that we've got rolling in the background. It is very tight off the second corner. But let's slip into the sim and let's take a look at these standings coming into tonight. We'll get to the schedule here in a moment. But these standings are going to be very important to look at, very important to have in mind as we pick back up and move forward. Because when you look at the schedule here in a second, we only have 2 races, including tonight, until the conclusion of the regular season and the beginning of the BRB chase. Now, I believe Dustin Stallings and Ronnie Osmer are locked in by math. I don't have that official word yet. I don't want to speak too much on it. I believe they are locked in. We're going to treat them as such. Kyle Heath, Johnny Wood Jr., Isaiah Sutherland, they could all likely lock in here tonight. I would even throw in Brendan Maddox, Dakota Camper, Christian Barnes, and possibly even Zachary Brandvold and Richard Wolsifer into the could lock in tonight category. Really, you're only looking at those bottom 2 spots, Gray Walker with a win, and especially Jared Hughes only up 24 points. At the same time, Zach, when you look at traditional battles to the chase, it's usually a lot closer than 24 points. This is a massive gap, respectively, to the battle at hand for Jared Hughes to have with 2 races to go in the regular season. Now, it's very easy to lose that gap, but it's also very easy, well, I shouldn't say very easy, but it's easier to maintain when you have more points.
Absolutely it is, and I think some of these drivers in this battle, at least, are not currently in contention, to my knowledge. As far as I'm aware, Dylan Yeager is no longer in competition. Either that or he was supposedly suspended. It was hard to follow everything with Summer Shootout going on Tuesdays, but Yeager is not necessarily in competition in this points battle. So really, in terms of that cut line, I think we're looking at anywhere from Wolsifer to probably Carl Pooler in terms of that battle of who could be above the cut line in these next 2 races, with Rockingham tonight and Homestead up next week. And Homestead is a track that Richard Wolsifer has had some good finishes at. He finished 2nd there in the season finale last season, and there's definitely some added bonuses for a lot of these guys going into that race because it is a very highly competitive track.
Here's a look at that Season 4 schedule for the BRB Buttkicker Cup Series. Daytona, Texas, Iowa, Michigan, Austin. Those are the 5 races we had to start the season here on the channel. Then Freaky Fast kicked in for Bristol, Kansas, Charlotte, Dover, Indianapolis, and St. Louis last week. We picked back up here a year after we started coverage with the BRB Racing League here at Rockingham, August 5th. Let's go. That's all I got to say. Let's go. I'm excited. I'm pumped up. 2 races to that chase cutoff, and then 5 races set up for the championship at Las Vegas. It's going to be an exciting few races to the end. That's a look at the schedule, the points, the track map. Let's get into qualifying. And Zach, before we go any further, talk of the town has been weather conditions. It's cooled down a little bit, very minutely here for qualifying, but race weather still 75 degrees in the air, 117 degrees on track. It was over 120 in practice. It is toasty out there. Even though the air temp isn't that high, there's not a cloud in the sky. The North Carolina, otherwise known as Satan's butt crack. I don't know what else to call it. I don't know what to call it. Satan's armpit might have been a little more PG. Satan's armpit we'll go with. I like that a lot better. The North Carolina sun is beaten down, and it's going to be hot. It's going to burn these guys up, figuratively, I'd say. We won't see these guys dropping out because of heat exhaustion or anything like in real life, but it is going to wear these guys out. They're going to be sawing on the wheel. They're going to be feathering the throttle. It's going to mentally tax these guys a lot tonight.
Tire wear is going to be a big thing, too. Tire wear especially is going to be a big thing. There's guys out on track turning qualifying laps, and I thought, Andrew, talk of the town was going to be the fact that it's throwback week.
Yeah, there is that as well, and we'll talk about that over the course of the night. There's one of the best throwbacks in the field on Dustin Stallings' car. Here's another one for Johnny Wood Jr., a beautiful throwback paint scheme on that number 75. Kyle Heath is out there in the number 13. He's had one all season long, that Darrell Waltrip throwback paint scheme. Zachary King has got one this evening, I believe, a throwback to the Ford Performance paint schemes. I think Cameron Gilmore, he's got a good one back to Derek Cope, a car that his father used to work on back in the day. So a lot of good throwbacks out there.
Definitely some really amazing throwbacks out there. I know there are a few other drivers that have gotten some decently good throwbacks on there. There's a lot of Paul Menard throwbacks out there, I will say.
There are a few of those. Here's one of them. You saw one in Ronnie Osborne's 15 car. Here is one for Evan Patinko in his number 81. I do like this one. This is kind of a Paul Menard DEI throwback when he was running the NASCAR Xfinity Series in that number 81 machine. Isaiah Sutherland, I believe, has got his typical Jeff Gordon, which is also a throwback, but typical Jeff Gordon paint scheme done up on Maddox Graphics. Richard Wolfer, by the way, just went up towards the top of the board, Zach. He was top of the board in practice. Can he do it here in qualifying? Brand new paint scheme here for Richard Wolfer. Really fast in practice. Here he goes to the line. Car 56 across the board is top of the board. Look at that.
Him and Stallings actually tied their laps for Wolsifer's first lap, so that was absolutely that was a blistering lap. There you see Josh Parent just finished up his laps in that Joey Logano GameStop throwback. There is a beautiful throwback for Dakota Camper. That looks absolutely stunning. A beautiful Dale Earnhardt throwback.
Same car he won Daytona in last season in that silver number 3, and I believe he's got a win lately as well here in this season. Here's Matthew Selby. This is a good-looking race car. They took a couple of creative liberties, and I'm okay with that. The matte blue with the chrome red looks really good. A nod to the AC Delco Clint Boyer number 2. I really do dig this. This is a really good-looking race car. Matthew Selby, CFM Performance, they put a good one on the track this evening. Let's see what he can do here in qualifying. Let's go on board as well. And here we go. Back to that NASCAR on board. Even the Gen 7 still sounds really good, looks really good. Here it is down the backstretch. Out of turn number 4, Matthew Selby on the loud pedal. Wrapping up lap 1, down to the apron. A 24.735. Lap 2 likely going to be shot because of the entry he took into the corner. And sure enough, he will abandon lap number 2 and call it there. Scott Fritz goes 19th quick. Selby goes 14th quick. A handful of drivers not qualifying. Camper, Pooler, Renner, Rogers, Rattel, and Borbell not turning a qualifying lap, meaning they will start from the back end of the field.
Was that the 2016 Fontana race where Jimmy Johnson ran the Superman paint scheme? Was that what was on Fritz's car?
That's what you saw going on there. When Jimmy Johnson ran the Superman car and Dale Earnhardt Jr. ran that Batman car. That's the thing going on.
So fitting, especially with Superman in the theaters right now.
And I believe Scott has been running that for a decent portion of this season, even into last season. So it's a good one. I'm glad he brought it back. I'm glad he has it on track here this evening. Let's take a look at your lucky performance starting grid as qualifying has wrapped up with Richard Wolsifer on pole. And if you recall, Zach, go back. Oh, what race was it? For the life of me, I can't recall what race it was now, but I told him he needed to win, and he went out and won. What race was that? Was that Texas? No. That wasn't last season, was it?
Wolsifer went winless last season.
That's what I thought. So what race was it? Let's hang on. Let's close the grid. Let's take a look at the schedule. What race was it? Was it Michigan? Michigan. It was definitely Michigan. Regardless,
Uno momento, por favor.
As far as backing up to our coverage earlier this season, Richard Wolsifer seems to be picking right back up where he left off and getting right back to the top of the speed charts. Car 56, fastest in qualifying. He'll be starting this evening's race from pole position alongside Dustin Stallings. Starting third, you will find... Well, graphics just locked up on me. I'll go through it verbally. Kyle Heath, Brendan Maddox, 3rd and 4th. Johnny Wood Jr. and Zachary Brandvold, 5th and 6th. Gray Walker, Cameron Gilmore, 7th and 8th. Ronnie Osmer and Zachary King, 9th and 10th. Zach, take us through the rest.
And we've got Jared Hughes in the 11th spot with Christian Barnes rolling off 12th. Evan Patinko and Matthew Selby make up row 7 with 13th and 14th. Sam Dyer and Josh Parent in 15th and 16th position. 17th and 18th are going to go to Coulter Clark and Josh Anderson. And then 19th and 20th are going to go to Scott Fritz and Cameron Carden. Rolling down through 21st and 22nd, Eric Jensen and Braden Van Wingerden. Braxton Skinner is going to be 23rd, and Isaiah Sutherland is going to be 24th. Gavin Rogers is going to make another start here tonight in the 25th position, not turning a qualifying lap. First of the non-qualifiers. 26th will be Dakota Camper after aborting his lap. Stephen Borbell is making another appearance tonight in the number 2 machine in the 27th spot. Andrew Rattel in 28th. And then Carl Pooler and Nicholas Renner are going to round out your 30-car field here tonight for Rockingham Speedway. We've got 2 laps before we send them green, ladies and gentlemen. Lights are out on the pace car now, but that's just kind of how it rolls at the start of the race here on the iRacing.com sim.
I got graphics coming back. Give me 1 second. We're going to look at the Whiplash Simcam's race details real quick. I want to get this set. 200 laps, 203 miles. Stages at 50, 100, and then the end at 200. 6 change sets, 80% fuel. Fixed setup out there. 3 green-white checkers and a fast fix. Wanted to get that in before we didn't have the chance to do so. We are coming around to the green flag, and here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Grab the seat of your pants. We're going racing in Rockingham. Throwback style this evening. It's the Rev Sim Shop 200, and we are trying to wreck at the start, but we are green here at the Rock. Immediately, Dustin Stallings right to the lead, gets down on that right rear quarter panel of Wolsifer, who's going to go around and slide around on a turn 4. He's going to go for a full spin. There goes the field. Richard Wolsifer around on lap 1.
No caution, we stay green. That has got to be one heck of a blow for Wolsifer there. There you see Rattel coming out of the pit lane. He's low down on the back straightaway as Brendan Maddox, the last driver to win at this racetrack, when we were here is now out in front. Dustin Stallings, then Brandvold, Walker, Gilmore, Heath, Selby, Wood, Osmer, and Parent round out your top 10 throughout the field. Everyone's taking a shuffle up as Brendan Maddox goes purple on lap number 3.
Watch this shot off of turn number 2. Everybody flying up out of the banking right towards that camera on the wall. Brendan Maddox, as you mentioned, leading the charge right now. Dustin Stallings second. Brandvold, one to watch already. He's cracked the top 3. Gray Walker finally has a win. He runs in 4th. Cameron Gilmore, a strong 5th place. A lot of drivers moved around at the start of the race. And Zach, look at Josh Parent. He did not have a great qualifying effort. Started 16th. He's already up to 10th.
Yeah, that big shuffle up on the start of the race really helped Josh get up there and challenge for that top 10 position. He struggled a little bit in practice, you know, and this is the hard part for guys like Josh who may not have the time to commit to all of the practice sessions and practice races that BRB Buttkicker Cup Series loves to run throughout the week. And I credit these guys for giving their drivers as much practice as they possibly can. But there are a number of these guys that work most of the day and only are able to get home, get on the iRacing.com sim for a short period of time. And, you know, at times it does show.
Down the front stretch, you saw a battle there between Kyle Heath and Cameron Gilmore. Gilmore has won that fight for now, but let's go on board with Kyle Heath. Somebody who's been interesting to watch all season long, a newcomer to the series when this season started, has definitely fit into this point and has been a lot of fun to watch. Has been very competitive as well in that number 13 car. Now back to the inside of Gilmore. Fight for the 5th position. And Zach, you know, let's be honest, this is a slimmer field than we saw to start the season. We began the season with 43 cars back at Daytona, right? So slim that down by 15. We've got 28 here this evening at Rockingham. There's more room for these guys to race than early in the season. We should see very different racing, much more track position based. These guys are going to hold on to every spot they can.
Absolutely they will. Track position is going to be uber important. We've got battles all throughout the field. There you see Gilmore going backwards with Heath trying to use that bottom line. Joshua Parent and Johnny Wood Jr. going at it for the 9th spot as well, just right behind these guys. So there's so much going on throughout the top 10. There you see Johnny Wood Jr., there you see Joshua Parent, and there's Coulter Clark trying to hold off Josh Anderson and Scott Fritz. There's so much action going on, Andrew. It's so hard to follow. There you see a little bit of right front damage on the bumper of Josh Anderson, it looked like. I think he might have gotten a little bit of that from the lap 1 incident. There's Kyle Heath. He's falling back behind Cameron Gilmore. It's the nature of Rockingham. The track is multi-groove, and you can utilize every single stretch of it. The outside's great for defending. Bottom line's great for passing.
Yeah, right now, it's just really hard to leave this fight for about 4th position, beginning with Gray Walker and running through Cameron Gilmore and Kyle Heath. These guys, look how close Cameron Gilmore just was to the outside wall, and they're again off the corner, right up to it. Here he goes, positioning himself to the inside now of Gray Walker. Battle for the 4th position. And no dice, there's a caution out. Carl Pooler around.
Sliding down the racetrack, trying to get that car back rolling. See quite a bit of right front damage on that race car. Maybe, if I had to take a wild guess, right rear hook into the wall, slid back down the racetrack.
I'll take you up on that guess. I'm going to guess he got loose out of turn 2 and overcorrected. Well, let's find out. Carl Pooler, car number 71, racing with Jared Hughes here out of turn number 2. Right behind Scott Fritz and Josh Anderson. And Zach, you were right.
Ha!
He came up.
I will take my compensation in a $5 bill.
No crisp Abe Lincolns for you. I'm sorry.
Oh, man.
Here's another look at it. Carl Pooler in that gold number 71, a nod to Dale Earnhardt's gold Bass Pro Shop paint scheme he ran in the Winston so many years back. And Cameron Carden trying to go by it ends up in the outside wall. So problems for that Whiplash Racing driver as Pooler has his issues. Let's see what happened to Carden as the 21 car tried to go by. Here's the onboard. He got the wall off the corner as well. And then tried to go by and ended up spinning right into the opening there. And that's a good bit of right front damage.
Now, let's look at this from a points paying perspective. Jared Hughes was one of the cars involved in that. He's right now on the cut line at the moment. He's above it, but he's on it. And there are multiple drivers inside the top 10 right now that could take that spot away from him. We look pretty much throughout the field. I see Gray Walker. I see Kyle Heath. I see Johnny Wood Jr. I see Zachary Brandvold, Joshua Parent. Most of these guys are above the cut line. Joshua Parent being one of the guys below the cut line. The point shakeup could be huge for Hughes if he loses out, especially with most of those guys getting stage points.
So points implications certainly on the line. Want to take a look back at what happened to Richard Wolsifer, our pole sitter for tonight's race. Out of turn 2, just got loose. Boom, inside wall. That's about what I thought happened to Pooler at first. But Limitless Racing Crew having a rough go of things to start the race out here at Rockingham. And Wolsifer is now 7 laps down in the pit lane, going absolutely nowhere. So a brand new Black Rifle Coffee paint scheme for him has not been broken in nicely. A big, big problem for car 56 here to get the evening started. But out front, the choose has happened, Zach. We've got Brendan Maddox up top, Dustin Stallings down low, and what you'll notice on the front row and even third place cars is a blue and white spoiler, something we'll talk more about tonight as the night goes on. The BRB bonus brawl brought to you by Maddox Graphics in effect here this evening. This is the third and final race of the bonus brawl this season. Here we go, back around to the restart zone, racing once again here at the Rock Crashing. Brandvold in the wall, Anderson in the wall. We aren't going very far, I don't think. We're still green for now, but
we're still green.
Big issue.
Josh Anderson dropping back very, very quickly. There you see damage on the right front of Brandvold. It was a blink and you miss it moment in that Marlboro racing machine. That's going to put a lot of these guys up inside the top 10 a lot more. That's going to take some big points implications out of the fold here. Brandvold, one of those guys trying to make sure he stays in chase contention. That moves a lot of these guys up. Heath in the third. Walker still hanging around in fourth. Osmer in the top 5. Gilmore, Wood, Parent, Fritz, and Selby is cracking the top 10 now.
So you saw kind of what happened there on the restart. We go back and get a replay, but this is getting a little too spicy right now. Early in stage number 1, Brendan Maddox falling back to Kyle Heath. Lost the race lead there on that restart to his teammate, Dustin Stallings. And now they go at it for the race lead. Heath goes fastest right along that bottom lane. He goes purple. And now puts pressure on second place.
Everyone just staying mostly single file. I say that. They go double up through turn 3. Heath to the inside of Maddox, but that top line is just oh so powerful on exit Andrew. It's just absolutely benefiting that 23 of Brendan Maddox right now. You see Stallings get a little steppy going into turns 1 and 2, but he's going to hang on to it, keep her rolling. There's that outside line working to Maddox's advantage. Off of turn number 2, he's still going to hang on to that second spot.
And you saw there the brand new dash display on these cars. Have not yet seen that on the channel because we haven't had a Cup car broadcast in that long. That was released back in June, right after the race we had at COTA. So it's been out for a little while now here on the sim, but first time that we're seeing it at Pit Stop TV as Brendan Maddox gets loose. Problems in the back. It's Matthew Selby getting up towards the wall. Josh Parent goes by. It's actually Gilmore getting the wall. Selby goes by. Here comes Fritz to go on by. Coulter Clark going to try to go by and crack the top 10. A logjam back here right around the 8th, 9th spot.
Heavy damage to that right side for Gilmore. He's in the wall again. He's going to take Coulter Clark with him. So Fritz and Clark in a bit of a heated gun show, we'll say, for that 10th spot. Look at Fritz leaning on that left rear quarter panel, trying to see if he can't find a way around. He's going to get clear, but that outside line, like we say, Andrew, is powering. Tough track to pass at on that inside line sometimes. Fritz is going to have to throw that car in there as Gilmore takes a huge shot down to the bottom line.
And everybody moving around. Somebody I'm surprised to see this far back is Coulter Clark. Coulter Clark just had a big moment. Somebody I'm surprised to see this far back, Zach. Isaiah Sutherland. Where did he start? He started 24th position. I believe that's about the slowest of the qualifiers tonight. That is an abysmal effort in qualifying for him. We know he can get it done any given week in the BRB Buttkicker Cup Series. Let's see what he can do as the night goes on. It's early yet, but he's working on stage points.
That he is. He's working towards that top 10, and he is pretty much in a really good position going into next week to be locked into the chase. So I wouldn't necessarily say that he's hurting for stage points, but it also helps to have that extra added bonus going into next week and rounding out your regular season in a very good manner by pretty much locking up that points total. As a couple of cars smacked the wall back there. Who was that? That was Wingerden, if I'm not mistaken. Bounce off the wall off of turn number 2. There you see them doubling up, though. Fritz going after Selby. Gilmore trying to hang on to that top 10 as Coulter Clark is trying to find a way back up there.
I will say props to Cameron Gilmore. Had that moment out of turn 2 a few laps ago, got up into the wall, and has since kind of found a new line, worked it into his rhythm, and is looking a lot nicer here in the 10th spot. Looking a lot better than he did literally 5 laps ago in that Pure Leader number 10. Wants to do that paint scheme some good honor this evening. As I mentioned earlier, his father worked on Derek Cope's Daytona 500 winning car, and boy, what Gilmore wouldn't do to put that car in victory lane here this evening at Rockingham. Want to move forward in the field to your race leader, the Maddox Graphics double op machine, Buckshot Jones. Nope, that's actually Dustin Stallings. Really good looking double op machine. I love what they've done with that 00, Zach.
Yeah, I absolutely love it. It looks really, really good. I think the top 3 cars at the moment have some really amazing paint schemes. They're done very, very well. And, you know, we look through this whole field, there's some really good paint schemes up inside the top 10. I think if I had to choose a couple of favorites, I want to say Brendan Maddox. I really, really love his paint scheme. I am a big fan of Johnny Wood Jr.'s Mark Martin paint scheme as Maddox takes a huge shot to the inside. Slide job here at Rockingham. Maybe we'll get 3 wide for the race lead. We will not. We'll stay doubled up for second. Back to single file. New race leader. It's Brendan Maddox out in front once again.
That was teammates working together for sure, with Stallings letting Maddox go like that. Now you got a battle for second heating up. Stallings and Heath going at it. Heath now looks to the inside in that Auburn University number 13, and he will take that spot away. Maybe, yes, he gets that position. Will fall back to the front bumper of Stallings. Stallings gives him a shot. But pass is complete there for Kyle Heath to go on by Dustin Stallings and start chasing down the race leader in Brendan Maddox. A lot of great throwbacks in the field, but we have a moment here early in the race. Let's go through a handful of them. Brendan Maddox, of course, out there leading the race right now. That is a nod, I believe, to Jimmy Spencer and that Marlboro number 23 campaign. You also have the Darrell Waltrip throwback here for Kyle Heath. He's been running all season. Dustin Stallings in that Buckshot Jones. Aquafresh, I believe, double lot. You also have Johnny Wood Jr. and a caution out apparently as well, as problems are arising for Nicholas Renner. And Carl Pooler.
And Carl Pooler again.
And Jared Hughes. My
Jared
goodness.
Hughes. Oh no, this is just a bad, bad night for Jared Hughes. And Carl Pooler, really. And I hate to say it, Andrew, but I feel like Carl Pooler's had really bad luck these last few races.
Last couple of seasons as Zach King took Nick Renner to the outside wall. I can only imagine how lit up the voice channel must be right now. Renner around, you see Hughes around, and then Pooler, yeah, Pooler crashed trying to avoid it. He has just had such terrible luck the last couple of seasons, and it's been nice to have him join us here at Pit Stop TV for a couple of broadcasts in the last few months. I really do enjoy working with Carl, but man, he has just had abysmal, terrible, no good luck lately. Here's a look at the replay one more time.
Yeah, King gets clear of Camper and then just throws it right there into the corner, ends up running Renner up the racetrack. And I'm sure Renner wasn't too happy about that one, but he's really, really sideways up off of 2. Ends up collecting Jared Hughes, and then you'll be able to see a better angle here. There's Carl Pooler coming up off of 2. The smoke clears. Oh, wow. Just hard rights right into the wall.
Yeah, I'd imagine he was trying to get up on the binders and might have locked up the rears while he was coming to it. Let's take a look back at it for the number 71. As pit stops happen live for most of the field. Not the entire field, but here's... Yeah, that little correction to the right. These suspensions are so sensitive to turning back to the right. It's remarkable, honestly. I don't want to talk too badly about the race car because it's a good race car, I think, overall. It definitely has its quirks, but it's remarkable how sensitive this symmetrically built race car is, because it's not like traditional stock cars where they're built offset to the left, Zach. It's symmetrical, and it's still so almost more sensitive when you turn back to the right because of how much camber and how much twisting has to go into the setup like that. So it is definitely a very sensitive race car. We have had some pit stops, as I mentioned. Scott Fritz, it looks like, will be the first of those pit stop cars to line up. He will line up it back in what looks to be the 11th position with a 4-tire pit stop, it looks like, on that number 48 machine. You also have Johnny Wood Jr. having taken 4 tires, Matthew Selby, Braden Van Wingerden, and so on through the back end of your field. The cars that stayed out, that'll be easier to list. Those are Maddox, Heath, Stallings, Walker, Osmer, Parent, Sutherland, Patinko, Clark, and Camper all stayed out under this yellow. Zach, here we come to the green.
Coming back to it, pace car makes that hard left turn. They're going to go into the restart zone here at Rockingham, and the green flag is back out once again. The top line does not get going.
And that is a crash and a caution here on the restart for the BRB Cup Series. Dakota Camper, one of the cars around on the front straightaway. Matthew Selby. Sam Dyer just came to a complete stop, I think, to miss it. Van Wingerden, it looks like, around.
Saw Rattel come to a complete stop in that Southwest-inspired paint scheme.
Watch Kyle Heath here, the number 13 car. He's going to go absolutely nowhere on the restart, and I have a hunch as to why, but I want to watch this replay first. And then Camper got loose behind, and that causes the big melee crash of all those cars that had just pitted. Let's get a replay here on board with Heath. He's in 3rd gear. What gear is Maddox in 2nd? Heath in 3rd. It just had no get up and go, Zach. I mean, that's just not a good restart.
That's what we call missing a shift, but not missing a shift.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. Here's a look at it for Dakota Camper and everybody else off the corner. There were only 4 cars lined up, including Camper, at the back end of the outside line, but it gets Johnny Wood, it gets Matthew Selby, it gets Braden Van Wingerden. Oh, man.
If you don't say it, I'm going to say it.
Championship implications?
Ah! There are some championship implications going into this, Johnny Wood Jr. being one of them, but he's got some good points already. I believe we already covered that he might as well be considered a lock after this race, but that's still going to be a heavy blow.
Let's look back at the standings. I would consider the top 5 locks after showing up to and racing tonight. So Stallings, Osmer, Heath, Wood, and Sutherland I'd consider in. Which, by the way, props to Ronnie Osmer, Kyle Heath, a couple of newcomers to the series, right to the top of the board. Right to the top of the series and battling for wins. Only one between those two. Osmer's came at Texas earlier this season, but still, really good showing so far between those two. Johnny Wood's got a couple of wins since we last checked in with these guys. Dakota Camper's got a win. Christian Barnes got a win. Richard Wolsifer got that win back at Michigan. Gray Walker has that win over the summer. As far as drivers in this top 12 that have had trouble so far, Brandvold, we saw the issue on the restart. Wolsifer, he's going to drop a bunch. He's going to be pretty close to that cut line if he does not get back on the racetrack soon. Actually, he is on the racetrack, 21 laps down. Jared Hughes having problems tonight. On the other side, you've got Carl Pooler having massive problems. Matthew Selby just got caught up in an incident. Scott Fritz, I believe, got a piece of it. Andrew Rattella's had a bad night. He's in 28th, 24 laps down. So big problems on both sides. And here we go, back around to the restart zone. Brendan Maddox, 15 laps to go in stage 1. You can tell these guys are trying to stay out here at the end of stage number 1, but into the restart zone one more time. Heath in the wall! Parent around! Walker involved. Big incident here on the restart.
That is a heavy, heavy blow once again.
Patinko around. a melee here on the front straightaway. And Zach, something we only just touched on before we lost, I don't want to say lost coverage, but took our break for the summer, if you will. These guys have a new penalty process in place. Adam Buzzio, Stephen Borbell, they're now race controlling every race. They're not racing right now. This is going to have some implications there as well.
That it will. You know, we just talked about Kyle Heath and the fact that he has been absolutely stellar throughout this first part of the season. And I mean, I think this outside line, I've been hearing it through the radio chatter. A lot of these drivers are just complaining about the outside line and talking about how it is just not that great on these restarts. There you see Patinko head onto the wall. I mean, this is just heavy stuff. I mean, this is every single restart we've seen so far that there has just been a problem like this.
So Parent's on board here. He got an okay restart, but Heath, of course, crashing. Parent had nowhere to go. That involves Gray Walker in all of this. Down in the 18 machine, he goes sliding through the grass. It's a nice throwback to Kyle Busch's, I believe, 2009 Indiana Jones paint scheme that he ran at Darlington. But let's go back and get a look at that from Patinko's perspective, because he's on the move next season. He's looking for a new team. Redacted Motorsports not really going on into season number 5. They've hit some bumps in the road. Dakota Bly no longer racing this season. He's announced his retirement, if you will, and his teammate Patinko left to pick up the pieces, and that's a decent hit there for Patinko. Now, Evan already had some damage, so I don't think this is going to do anything too crazy to that number 81, but it's not going to help, that's for sure.
No, it is not, and he's had some really good races, Andrew. I hate to see him having such a hard time like this. See Jared Hughes in the pits. Brandvold as well taking some service. Josh Anderson making his way back onto the racetrack. He was in the box for quite a while. Talk about the free pass, though, Andrew. Richard Wolsifer. He is now 20 laps down as we see Braxton Skinner in the pit lane. Stephen Borbell has been down there for quite a while. I'm not even doing the math on 1,175 seconds and minutes. No thank you, sir.
Well, it's interesting. It looks like he got in the car for a second, might have hit a hotkey or something, but he is running admin controls tonight with Adam Buzzio, so his car just kind of popped up down there. They unloaded it, wanted to show it off anyways for the Performance Food Group number 2. I want to give a big thank you as well to all the partners here with the BRB Buttkicker Cup Series as we come up on 11 laps to go in the stage. The Buttkicker, Ascendance Trucks, Idealease, Sundance Pizza, Performance Food Group, and Maddox Graphics, all helping us get to and from the virtual racetrack every Tuesday night. Here we go one more time in stage number 1. Rattel down to the pit lane, but we are back green. Let's hope for a while here. Battle off the corner. Oh, wow. Ronnie Osmer got squeezed up to the wall by Brendan Maddox. Battle now for third. Here we go.
Sutherland. He's made his way up here after staying out on the restart, so he has got some great advantages going into the end of the stage here, looking to maximize some stage points, looking to go after Osmer now as Fritz has moved into contention behind that 24 car. He's going to try to get a run off of corner number 2. Not going to get there as you see Rattel coming out of the pit lane.
Here's that onboard with Isaiah Sutherland, who runs in fourth spot now, right behind Ronnie Osmer, who has driven up through the field in that Paul Menard lookalike. Maddox in control, stalling second, and Osmer, Sutherland, Fritz, Parent, Gilmore, Selby, Barnes, and now Wood in the top 10 as Ronnie Osmer cracks a fast lap of 24.421. Impressive stuff there as there's a crash in the back. The one of Van Wingerden in the inside wall. He'll continue on, but he's got a ton of left side damage. That Metro line number 1 is definitely headed to the pit lane. That's the word I'm looking for, pit lane.
Definitely a lot of heavy damage. It looks like he's going to stay on the racetrack. That tire looks pushed in big time. I mean big time pushed in. So he's going to have to try to find a way to stay out on the racetrack. He's only got to do it for about 8 more laps as we see the fight for stage points starting to heat up. Johnny Wood Jr. is trying to make his charge. Joshua Parent is starting to feel the effects of that damage that he got, but he's trying to maximize stage points in his fight to make the chase here in the BRB Buttkicker Cup Series. Now he falls down to the 9th spot, so the only thing standing between him and losing stage points is Nicholas Renner and Coulter Clark.
Parent trying to settle in. He was 5th on the restart. Has dropped back to 9th spot since the green flag. 6 laps to go here in stage 1. Anything can happen here at Rockingham. We've already seen that so far tonight. Renner dives into turn 1. Let's go on board with Coulter Clark sitting right behind these guys. As Jared Hughes slows down, he's coming to the pit lane.
This is big. Hughes is in that 12th spot on the cut line, Andrew. We've talked about it the entirety of tonight. He needs to maximize his stage points here. He needs to maximize his positions. He's in competition with Sam Dyer. Dyer right now runs in the 18th position. He's just passed up Jared Hughes, who is falling down the running order now into the 22nd position. So this could be huge. This could be really, really big for these guys.
Battle heating up for 10th. Renner's got company. Clark and Barnes. Christian Barnes on some newer tires. In fact, new tires have infiltrated the top 10 a little bit. Matthew Selby, Johnny Wood Jr., both seemingly having taken some tires. Scott Fritz, Cameron Gilmore as well. But your leaders are still on the same old tires they have been all night long as Renner pulls off to the inside, and it looks like he might be coming to the pit lane.
Well, Andrew, he just called over the radio and actually said that he is retiring the car, so Renner is out of this race.
There you go. Nicholas Renner done for the night. Maddox gets loose. This is going to open up the stage.
He's going to open up the corner right there. Very shallow entry, compromised line. Big, big run for Dustin Stallings on the bottom line. Gonna have to take that top line defense for Maddox. 2 laps to go on the stage. Pit road is officially closed. Sutherland with a move to the inside. He's looking to take second away.
Dustin got right down on Isaiah Sutherland's right rear quarter panel there into turn 1. Couldn't do anything about that advancing 24 car. Here comes the 48 now. How many times has that been said in NASCAR? Here come the 24 and 48. Boom, big contact there from Stallings to Sutherland, and we might get some back. There it is. Sutherland tries to hook him. 1 lap to go on the stage.
That gives Fritz an opening to try and take third away. Gets clear, so Sutherland back in charge of the 2nd spot. What's he going to do? Rolling into turn 3. Is he going to try to send it? He's going to get there. He's going to roll on the back bumper. He doesn't quite get it done. Off of turn number 4. Give the green and white checkered flag to Brendan Maddox. Stage 1 goes to the 23.
Isaiah definitely drove off into 3, trying to get there to Stallings, rather. But Brendan Maddox will win the stage. Oh, man, gotta love some good hard racing here at Rockingham Speedway. Just like the old days, right, Zach?
Just like the old days.
As we got cars missing each other here coming up to the pace car. Teammates nearly had a run in there. But the top 10 looks like it'll be Maddox, Stallings, Sutherland, Fritz, Osmer, Gilmore, Selby, Wood, Parent, and Barnes. We'll be talking with Brendan Maddox, Stage 1 winner, here in just a few moments. But first, pit stops.
Single file all the way down the pit lane. Maddox is going to lead him. This is where the fun begins.
Yeah, everybody needs 4 tires and fuel right now. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Look back at the race weather. Track temp has come down significantly, Zach, down to 109, but it's still warm.
What about my Star Wars reference?
What did I miss?
This is where the fun begins? Revenge of the Sith? Huh?
I'm at a loss, man. I've watched them recently, but I'm at a loss. But you saw that mistake there from Brendan Maddox. He went through his box, and now off the pit lane first, Scott Fritz, 2 tires, down and out. Here comes Sutherland. Stallings going to win the race off between the 4 tire stops. And, wow, Brendan Maddox going to slide all the way down to 7th spot.
He lost a lot. I didn't think sliding through his box was going to affect him that much. But it's definitely costed him, as you see Johnny Wood Jr. getting some damage repair. There you see Sam Dyer and Coulter Clark rolling on by. There's Ronnie Osmer. He's getting that front nose fixed. He went purple with that front nose busted in. So that's impressive. There you see M. Patinko. Joshua Parents taking some damage repair as well after that restart incident. There's the pace car, and it looks like a number of these guys are going to go a lap down here.
It just may be that way. Let's go ahead and dial up quickly. Brendan Maddox. It's going to be a quick interview with driver number 23, but let's bring him in. We're going to go straight down. Hang on. Find the best way to do this real quick. It's a pain sometimes to drag people around, but I want to talk to him real quick. Before we run out of time to talk to him, Stage 1 winner, Brendan Maddox. How good does it feel to be the stage winner here in a BRB Maddox Graphics bonus brawl race?
Oh, it feels really good. I've always wanted to do that. I mean, ideally, I'd like to win it, so maybe keep it under me tonight and get the win here. But the track is super slick. We're still at 108, so we've been slowly going on the decline since the start of the race, but it's still super slick. So we're coming up on the restart here. So thank you guys for all you guys are doing.
Absolutely good to talk to you briefly. Hopefully, we're talking to you at the end of the night.
Amen. Thank you.
That there is Brendan Maddox coming down to the restart zone. Zach, here we go. Right down to it. Green flag is out for Scott Fritz. We're racing again here at Rockingham. Down the backstretch. Thunder Alley to turn number 3. Isaiah Sutherland up top. Dustin Stallings down low, battle back to the stripe as they chase down Scott Fritz.
Wonder what's going to happen between the 24 and the 00. They were already going at it throughout the waning laps of stage number 1. And as we roll through turn number 2, we're going to get mostly single file. The first side-by-side is Brendan Maddox and Cameron Gilmore, but that falls back to Osmer now as those two are duking it out for position. That outside line, Andrew, it is just so powerful.
Here comes a run from Brandvold, a run from Clark. 54 and 55 going by the 10 car of Cameron Gilmore, who's stuck down low. Johnny Wood Jr. up top in that 75 car coming on by as they all try to work by the slower Cameron Gilmore right now. One car was slow in the back, but they seem to have figured that out as we might have a meeting of the Paul Menard paint schemes up front. Christian Barnes and Ronnie Osmer, both running Paul Menard lookalike paint schemes. All we need is Evan Patinko up here now.
Spider-Man meme.
Yeah, for
potential.
real. Someone needs to do that. That's your job for the night, Zach. Your side job, your side hustle for tonight.
Oh, wow. That was the side hustle when everyone ran Days of Thunder paint schemes at Daytona, and they were all 1, 2, 3, 4 at one point. Oh, my goodness.
Speaking of, one of the drivers that did that a season ago, Scott Fritz, he's leading so far tonight here on lap 58.
Longer, though.
Yeah, Stallings is there.
Down to the inside in turn 3. Seems to be the preferred lane going around and wrapping that yellow line. I want to say, while we have 5 out of the top 6 cars with the blue and the blue windshield and the white spoiler, the BRB bonus brawl. You said we were going to touch on it a little bit, and seeing as we've got a lot of the BRB bonus brawl drivers up inside the top 10 right now, perfect time to do it. These guys are in contention in kind of like an in-season challenge, like what NASCAR did, but they are doing it on a different style points bracket, and basically they put money in pot. They all put the money in the pot, and whoever wins the BRB bonus brawl gets all the shebang, all the marbles.
And, great minds think alike, Zach, because I had just pulled up the standings. Dylan Yeager was up top. He's not here tonight, so it's going to fall down to Isaiah Sutherland, the leader of that bonus brawl coming into tonight. Stallings is second. So these two are at the top of the list, and they're going after it with Scott Fritz as well. Fritz has been a part of the bonus brawl, but he has no points recorded. That means he has not yet been in the top 10 drivers to be a part of the bonus brawl so far at the 2 bonus brawl races this season. So, realistically, the fight right now is between Stallings and Sutherland for that extra bit of cash. And here they are on the racetrack together, second and third, as second place is going up to first.
Fighting for the win and fighting for all the money. How about them apples?
For reference, Sutherland has 17 points, Stallings has 16, Hughes has 13, Wood and Maddox have 9 and 8, Walker has 7. Those are the only drivers in contention coming into this evening.
The fight continues. Rolling through stage number 2. I want to say, Andrew, I feel like we haven't seen the last of the action between Sutherland and Stallings. I know these two are, on most occasions, very, very clean racers. I've rarely seen them let their tempers get the best of them. I still think we're in for a really good show later on as we see Stallings really trying heavily to get by Scott Fritz here. They are all just going at it hardcore.
Some really good looks here around Rockingham Speedway. Love these camera angles from Whiplash SimCams. Want to give a big thank you to the partners here at the channel. Whiplash SimCams, ATVO, CC's Business, Cody, Williams Design, Lucky Performance, and the North American Racing League. Of course, this is the RevSimShop.com 200. A big thank you to Rev himself for sponsoring this evening's race. Would not be possible without him. This league, this race, simply wouldn't be happening here tonight without Rev helping these guys out. Meanwhile, battle for fourth starting to spark up between Selby, Maddox, and Osmer. Here comes Osmer to the inside.
Big send down to the bottom. Brendan Maddox hanging tough, but Osmer gets clear. There's contact. Oh, baby.
You see Maddox protect his spot. This, I think, proves there's probably a handful of guys that can win this race based on speed alone. Because you put Maddox, who won the first stage, back in traffic, and he can't go very far. He's got a spot or two since the restart. He got up to 5th from 7th, but he can't go very far. He's mired in traffic right now, stuck where he is. It's hard to move through the field. It takes a special kind of special to do it here at Rockingham, in this car, especially with these track conditions. So I think this proves if you shuffle the field around enough, you could have a very surprising result here at Rockingham tonight. So watch out for that as the night goes on. The fact that Maddox, with that pit stop mistake, has kind of mired himself back in traffic. And of course, you cannot get too far away from this battle for the race lead. Scott Fritz, Dustin Stallings, this is great.
Yeah, let's not forget Isaiah Sutherland rolling his way through the field. He started very deep in the field, worked his way up early on in stage number 1, and now he is in a contention to get some amazing points rolling into stage 2 here. He's going to go for the win, obviously, with the speed that he's got. The question remains, really, if he's going to stay in contention for that win. We've seen guys dropping like flies through this race so far. I mean, Kyle Heath, he's taken some hits. We saw Wolsifer take hits early on. We saw Renner, Hughes, Braxton Skinner take some big hits. It has been Calamity Corner off of turn number 4 today. You just got to find a rhythm to the madness, really.
Working on about 69 laps complete, working on 70 here. A nice run to get stage number 2 started this evening. Go back to the Whiplash SimCams race details as this fight continues between Selby and Osmer. 200 laps, 203 miles. Stages, though, that's the important part, at 50 and 100. So these guys are working on about halfway through stage number 2 as Osmer gets way loose on the inside, just hangs on to that race car.
This track catches out the best of them, Andrew.
By the way, Jared Hughes has also retired his number 98. That is going to be huge for the chase.
Side by side, Selby and Maddox. Those two were going at it, banging off each other's doors off of turn number 4. Oh my goodness, they're so close to each other going through these corners. It is, I'm not going to lie to you, Andrew, it's scaring me as they're making contact off of 4.
They're not done, and there's a battle behind him as well between Osmer and Barnes. Barnes has won that for now. Up the racetrack, Maddox carries the 46 a little bit, and Maddox is getting loose. Boom, in the wall they go. Brandvold gets a piece of it. No caution, will stay green.
They stay straight, they stay rolling. That is not going to be good for these guys. Brandvold up in the wall. Maddox went way high in the corner just to keep a handle on it. Selby is immediately taking it to the pit lane. That promotes Joshua Parent up into the top 10. That car is heavy damaged. Look at that. The toe link has to be broken on Selby's racing machine.
I don't think it was completely broken, but it was heavily damaged, heavily bent. So
he's taking that car to the garage.
Yeah, Selby's done. So some frustrations maybe starting to build as this race goes on. Drivers trying to hang on to race cars, getting into others. The field thinning. We're already down to 19 on the lead lap. And about 4 more that are laps down. Heath is 1 lap down. He runs down in 20th spot. There he is. 1 lap down. You've got Eric Jensen 1 lap down in the 21st spot. Braden Van Wingerden 15 laps down in 23rd. And Richard Wolsifer 19 laps down in 24th. Everybody else, Selby, Renner, Hughes, Rattel, Skinner, they are out of the race.
Gotta admire these guys staying in it, though. They're doing an absolute stand-up job to come out of here with some form of points. I mean...
Caution. Josh Parent around turn 3. The Whiplash Racing number 90, teammate to Cameron Carden. And Parent has called it a day.
Definitely took the toe right there.
And that's not what you want to do. When you are trying to make the chase, that's the one thing you can't have happen, leaving a race early. Let's see what happened to Josh Parent here out of turn number 2. This has been Calamity Corner. Everybody gets loose. He just tried to bring the car back to the right, slams into Gilmore. And likely, out of guilt, I would imagine, that'll be the end of his day. On board with him, the car just built loose off the corner, tried to come back to the right. Boom. Wow, Patinko. Did you see that, Zach?
I did not, actually.
Watch this. For Evan Patinko in car number 81. I'm going to nominate it, Zach. Lucky performance, lucky break of the day right here.
I figured you would. Oh,
Woo!
Oh man.
Yes, sir. Let's go on board now with the 10. Here is Cameron Gilmore off the corner. Right behind Josh. You got to know he's feeling like he's in danger there, and sure enough, into the corner. A bunch of left side damage. Now, his suspension might be okay. That might just be body damage to the left side of that number 10 car. And I certainly hope that's the case, but a lot of damage for that Spirit Racing number 10. He has brought it down to the pit lane. He is in for service, along with Kyle Heath, Johnny Wood Jr., and Zachary Brandfold. And Parrott hasn't called it a day just yet, but he is in the pit lane, out of the car, and is dejected. I can tell you that. I won't tell you what he said so far, but I'll tell you that he's dejected. Already an attrition kind of night here at Rockingham. The field has thinned significantly, Zach.
It very much has. We started this race with just around 30 cars.
28 took the green. We are down now to about 20. And that's just in stages 1 and 2. So we are going to have a very interesting race on our hands. Of course, most of the contenders for the chase are still here, but a lot of implications along the way. Here we go. Green flag restart on the way. Restart zone. Green flag once again. Old tires on hand. The top 6 stayed out. Everybody else pitted. Here we go down the backstretch. Thunder Rally.
Side by side. That was tight racing between Stallings and Fritz. Stallings up the racetrack, but he's going to get clear and hold on to the race lead over Fritz coming off of turn number 4. Move down to the inside, though. That's the run for third.
First car on tires. That'll be Brennan Maddox. Here he is. If this goes green for any length of time, he could look like a genius. He stayed out longer in stage 1 to save a set. Or 2. He's up to 5th so far, working on 4th. Next car on tire is going to be Zachary King, who's down in 7th place, going by Coulter Clark, spinning Maddox. Oh my goodness, I was just on him, and there's the caution.
I don't know about you, but I'm nominating that for Lucky Performance, Lucky Break of the Day.
It's going to be tough to top what Buttkicker did, but we'll take a look.
If he rallies back for a good finish after keeping that just barely off the wall, gotta be a nomination for Lucky Performance, a Lucky Break of the Day.
Let's watch this here. Watch that gold 23, bottom side of the racetrack, off the corner, just got loose, slides, gets in the gas. Pretty good job.
Little love tap to the inside wall, but hey, love tap's better than a broken rear end.
Watch his hands. Let's see what this looks like when a car gets loose here tonight.
Look at his hands.
The car just comes around. Just immediately comes around. There's really no sign or warning. It just, when you come off the corner, and I'll slow this down, I'll run it back here. When you come off the corner, Zach, the car is suddenly over-rotating. And watch his hands, you'll see it. So he's loaded up, steering through the corner, and then he brings it back straight to come off the corner, and the car just keeps going. There's no warning, there's no bobble beforehand, and here's a little tap to the wall right there. There's no real warning. It just, when he straightens out, the car doesn't.
It's got to be that bump in turn number 2. It shakes these guys really loose sometimes. It's on the bottom line, too. It's right there on the bottom line, right out of 2, as you see Maddox in the pit lane taking tires. It shakes these guys so loose, and then once they hit the banking transfer and the weight transfer the car hits, it just snaps them around. I mean, there's nothing that can be done at that point.
Looking through some of the pit lane as 5 cars stay out here on the same tires. They are the top 5 on the racetrack as well. Dustin Stallings, Scott Fritz, as there's the choose. Dustin Stallings, Scott Fritz, Christian Barnes, and Ronnie Osmer all staying out here under this caution. We'll restart with about 15 to go in stage number 2. Zach, do you know who the best car, or the top car, I should say, on new tires is?
Zach King?
Zachary King.
There it is.
He is now the top car on new tires, ahead of guys like Evan Buttkicker, Ray Walker, Dakota Camper, and Johnny Wood Jr., who all pitted with him 7 laps ago. After that, it'll be Coulter Clark, Zachary Brandvold, Brendan Maddox, Cameron Carden, Josh Anderson, Kyle Heath, so on and so forth of the drivers who are on tires. So, Dustin Stallings is going to lead us back to the restart zone here. Let's watch on from the fan cam. Let's sit back, grab the popcorn, grab a cold drink, and watch this restart. 15 to go in stage number 2. Off the corner immediately, you saw Isaiah Sutherland reach up for that second spot and take it. Stallings leads through turns 3 and 4. Battle for third. Here comes Barnesy.
It's
Christian
a
Barnes.
big lead. Big lead for Dustin Stallings going through 1 and 2. He's got just about 5/10 of a second, dang near it, 5/10 of a second over Isaiah Sutherland. Side by side, Zach King, Ronnie Osmer. That is for the 5th spot, as King is going to throw that car in there, try to see if he can't take it away. He's not going to be able to do it. Osmer gets clear. They might get 3 wide here.
Here comes Buttkicker on the top side of the racetrack. We call him down low Buttkicker, but he ain't afraid to go high, wide, and handsome. Round the outside, Evan Buttkicker working on Zachary King. Johnny Wood Jr., Gray Walker, and some others in tow, but Buttkicker going to take that 6th spot away. He is now the top car on brand new tires.
Brendan Maddox showing his muscle as he went purple that last time by, fastest lap of the race. He knows that he has got the speed to win this race. He has just got to go up there and take it away. Maddox still on the lead lap. He's sitting in the 13th position. We ride on board with Buttkicker in the 6th spot, chasing down Osmer and Barnes for the 4th and 3rd spots. Oh, excuse me, for the 5th and 4th spots. As they get side by side, this is letting that 81 car roll up to him. Zach King right on the back bumper. And it's Johnny Wood Jr., Coulter Clark, and Somebody just, that's Dakota Camper.
It is. Dakota Camper off the corner. Problems for car 3. Here's a look at it. Racing with Brendan Maddox. Off turn 4, just got loose. Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh. That is heavy impact right there.
One more look at this.
That's the type of impact that makes you cringe.
This would be more than a day ender. In reality, this would be weeks. Oh my goodness, that is vicious.
That gave me PTSD.
So Dakota Camper out of the race at the moment. Brendan Maddox leading the way with 9 laps to go in stage number 2. Did I say Brendan Maddox? The Maddox Graphics, double lot. Dustin Stallings leading the way. Maddox is back in the, let's see, 10th spot, racing with Coulter Clark. That looks like fun.
Now.
Look at this, 3 wide.
Moved himself inside the top 10. Stage points on the line. Maddox showing his muscle. He has got this track figured out, Andrew. He is just able to put that car wherever he wants and move it throughout the field.
Oh, jostling there off the corner. The 55 of Brandvold seemed to get loose into the outside wall and back up to Clark. Yeah, they're more than scaring me. There we go, 7 laps to go in the stage.
Maddox losing a little bit of ground there to Zachary Brandvold. That brings Coulter Clark rolling around the outside line. Puts him inside the top 10. Maddox, though, gets back clear after Clark hits the wall off of 2. Now, Zachary King and Zachary Brandvold side by side through 3 and 4. That top line is beautifully working in everyone's favor, Andrew. It is just absolutely so powerful for these guys. There you see Maddox trying to take advantage of it. He scrapes the wall. King pinches him high. How's this going to work on corner exit?
I'm impressed. I thought the 23 was going to knock the wall down there. He got by. He just got by that outside wall and gets by the 51 as Zach King is trying to hang on for the final stage point here in stage 2. It's not going to happen. Here comes Coulter Clark on the outside.
Clark back inside the top 10 now. Everything's shaking around just on the outskirts of this top 10. Barnes and Osmer, meanwhile, fighting for that 4th and 5th spot. There you see King trying to stay in contention for these stage points.
Hey, the 3 Menard schemes!
Oh, man.
The 3 Paul Menard paint schemes all together on the racetrack. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Ah, yes. Paul Menard, going by Paul Menard, passing Paul Menard.
It's going to turn into the whole Greg Biffle passing Greg Biffle, now being battled by Greg Biffle, with Greg Biffle coming up the inside.
Yes, exactly. And out of those Paul Menards, Osmer has won the fight. Patinko has taken over 5th. Here comes Johnny Wood Jr., who's also on tires. This is getting exciting, coming right down to the end of the stage. Patinko trying to hang on to a top 5.
Maddox trying to go around Barnes and put himself up into the 8th spot while they're single file in front of him. It's going to take some big ol' sends to put that car up any further spots.
Here comes Johnny Wood Jr.
To the inside with the nose damage. 2 laps to go in the stage, gets the nose in front. Now Patinko throws it into the corner. He rolls it up, taps the wall. That's going to let Johnny Wood Jr. get fully clear off of 2. And now Johnny Wood Jr. up inside the top 5, looking to chase down Ronnie Osmer. But he's going to have to keep Evan Patinko in tow as we take the white flag in the stage.
White flag in stage number 2. Here comes the entire field to go on by the front stretch camera. It is all Dustin Stallings out front and the Maddox Graphics double lot. Sutherland not far back, but far enough back that Dustin Stallings should be able to calmly wrap around that yellow line in turns 3 and 4 and drive away to a stage 2 win. It's exactly what the points leader will do. Stage 2 win goes to Dustin Stallings.
How about a close finish right there for stage 2, though, Andrew? Only separated by 0.17 of a second.
And through the rest of the field, Walker, the final car to take a stage point here in stage 2, will be Stallings, Sutherland, Fritz, Osmer, and Wood, followed up by Patinko, Brandvold, Maddox, Clark, and Walker. So that'll do it here in stage number 2. It'll be the double lot, the 24 and the 48. Coming back around to lead this field down the pit lane. Expect everybody to come in for foreign fuel and reset going into stage number 3. Now, they are not good to the end on fuel, Zach. So there will be a pit stop at some point in this stage for everybody. Everybody's got a pit. But when do you do it? Do you wait on a caution? Do you take it once the green flag pit cycle opens up? I would reckon tonight you probably want to stay out at least to about 40 to go.
Splitting the stage wouldn't necessarily be a bad idea if this rolls through a green flag race. But green flag hasn't exactly been the name of the game tonight.
No, it has not. Pit stops underway. You see everybody duck into their pit stalls. Stallings wrapping around to turn number 2 here.
Saw a great shot into the pit box by Scott Fritz.
Maddox is in perfectly that time. And it'll be a race off. Here comes Jensen. Eric Jensen could surprise here. Well, he's a lap down. Maybe not. But Sutherland could do it. And Isaiah Sutherland will win the race off the pit lane. That is 2 stage yellows in a row, Zach. The stage winner does not win the race off pit lane.
The winner of the race off pit lane ain't even going to be the leader. Zach King stayed out on the racetrack, so this should be interesting, especially when you had guys like Richard Wolsifer staying out to try and see if he couldn't get another lap back.
Well, let's dial up stage 2 winner Dustin Stallings. A solid effort out of car double aught. Dustin Stallings, points leader, stage winner here in stage number 2. How's that Maddox Graphics double aught machine feel?
It feels pretty good for right now. Definitely having to take care of the tires and avoid overdriving the entry. It's definitely a handful, that's to say the least.
And we saw your teammate who won stage 1, Brendan Maddox. Once he was back in traffic, he couldn't get back up. Is that the biggest fear tonight, getting filed back in traffic like that?
I could see it being an issue because just from practice and stuff, dirty air is something you really got to deal with here. I didn't think it was going to be that big of a deal, but definitely interesting. So I just got to take my time and just settle in.
Well, Dustin, we'll let you get back to the job. Congratulations on the stage 2 win. Hopefully we're talking to you at the end of this one.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
I can't talk tonight, Zach. I don't know what it is, but these interviews are not my friend. Anyways, here we go. Down to the restart zone. 104 complete. Zachary King out of control. He dives to the apron. Here we go. Ronnie Osborne, Dustin Stallings.
Old tires did not help Zach King. That was a close restart. Could have been way worse than it was. Mostly single file going through turn 3, though.
But you know what? Heads up to Zach King. He could have kept trying to save that race car and stay out front. Instead, he pulled it down to the inside, got out of the way, and let the field go by. Props to Zach for that, to let everybody keep on racing as we work here into stage number 3. Ronnie Osmer kind of gifted the race lead there by Zach King, but he has worked hard all night long, Zach, to move into this spot, to be able to take this lead away. So it's more like he finally found the right place at the right time.
Can't argue with that one. Putting himself in contention, showing why he deserves that top spot, top of the board in terms of times, a 24-23, fastest lap we've seen all race long. Out of the 15, Ronnie Osmer, he is doing a stand-up job hanging on to that race lead. He is rolling that car out and extending his lead over Dustin Stallings. Doing a pretty good job of keeping a handle on it. Stallings, Wood, Fritz, Branville, Patinko, Clark, Barnes, Maddox, and Walker, your top 10.
You know, we don't talk too much about rookie classes here on iRacing because they aren't usually all that relevant. They're usually pretty arbitrary. It's just who joins the league when, right? But it doesn't take into account all the sim racing experience and prowess these drivers might have coming into this league. That said, somebody I know was a little bit greener than some was Zachary Brandvold. When he joined this series last season, a lot of drivers, a lot of people in the league, I don't know why, just kind of gravitated towards him. He was pretty calm, pretty consistent, put together some good finishes, and then fell off for a little while. I even put him into the chase last season in my picks. It didn't quite work out that way, but this season, could it, Zach? I mean, he looks a lot better. He's running 5th here tonight. That's the schedule, not the points. Here we go. Brandvold, 9th. He could be locked in very, very soon.
Personally, I think with Joshua Parent out of the race, I think with Dylan Yeager not here, Sam Dyer running further down the running order, if I had to put my best guesses forward, I would have to say your point situation is pretty much locked down. The only shakeup you really could see at the moment with Jared Hughes being out of the race is Sam Dyer could come out of nowhere and potentially show up and lock himself into the chase. We've seen upsets happen before. We saw Evan Patinko point his way in. What was that? That was here, wasn't it? Or was that the Icon Cup Series?
No, that was here in BRB last year. It was 2 seasons ago, back in season number 2. That could happen. Another driver to watch out for could be Coulter Clark. He was in the same situation as Parent. Clark is running 7th right now. I mean, they were a point apart coming into tonight. He's one to watch. Matthew Selby has been decent, although, never mind, he's out of the race. I forgot about that one. Fritz, maybe? That's as far as I'd be willing to go, as we got a caution on the racetrack. Problems for Christian Barnes.
That's no bueno.
Here's the number 27, around off of turn 4, just got the apron on his own, and that is, oh my goodness, that was close, but that is as clear-cut of a self-spin as you can get here at Rockingham.
If I could, I'd nominate it for Lucky Performance, Lucky Break of the Day, because he really could have knocked those barrels down like Dakota Camper did. But at the same time, it was also self-inflicted.
It's still pretty lucky to have missed it, and you know what? Let's go back and catch that replay for the 24 machine of Isaiah Sutherland, because that could count as well.
What are we trying to break the record for nominations in one race?
Maybe. I mean, there's some races we can't find anybody, so may as well load up on nominations here tonight. That was pretty good wreck avoidance there by Sutherland.
That's number 4 on the night, if I'm not mistaken.
As far as nominations, counting the Brendan Maddox nomination, yes, that would be. So, a lot of cars staying out. We do have a few coming in. Coulter Clark, one of them. And I'm going to talk to him, Zach. Let's bring him in. May as well here. We were just talking about the point situation, and he could be in that position similar to Josh Parent, or maybe he can still make the chase here. Let's talk to him, see how he's doing. He was just 7th right before that caution came out. Coulter, how you doing?
I'm doing good. It's a little sketchy out, but you know, just trying to do with what I can.
And of course, aside from having the best looking paint scheme in the field tonight, the car seems to be working well for you, as you missed the 6 car narrowly there. Up into the top 10, and you're right on the edge of being in contention still for the chase. What's that like? Are you trying to still work into the chase here?
Yeah, I definitely am. It's a lot of pressure right now, but luckily some guys in front of me haven't had great days. So just trying to capitalize on that, just doing the best I can.
And when Brendan Maddox got shuffled back into traffic earlier, of course, he had been leading for all of stage 1 just about, got shuffled back, has not gotten back up there since. What is the traffic like? Because we talked to Dustin as well, but he's been up front all night. What's the traffic like you've been in all night long?
Oh, man, it's been bad. I feel like passing is really hard. The outside is really good to defend, so if you're fighting somebody and they're just running out there, I mean, you're going to have a difficult time passing.
Fair enough. It's definitely looked that way. We'll let you get back to it here as the final car on the top side for this restart. Best of luck.
All right, thank you.
Coulter Clark, car 54. Let's move him back up and get him back to his teammates for this one, Zach. It's going to be interesting to see how this race goes on from here. This is right on the edge of the fuel window. I wouldn't pit yet, but we saw some drivers do it. Maybe they're trying to go to the end, like Zach King, Cameron Gilmore, Coulter Clark even, who came in for fuel. Maybe they're trying to stretch it. Green flag back in the air. Here comes Stallings.
Right on that inside line, going down into turn number 3. Osmer just using that outside line to defend as much as he possibly can. Gonna get clear, stays in charge of the race lead. Heck of a job right there to hang on to it by Ronnie Osmer. Johnny Wood Jr. is trying to come back into the fold. He's up into the 3rd spot. They're mostly single file. I think the first car down on the inside line is Isaiah Sutherland.
It is.
Back there in the 9th spot. How about Josh Anderson? He's made his way inside the top 10.
Anderson moving up, King moving up.
Top.
Definitely some moving around as Osmer goes fastest out front of the field.
Again?
Continuing to go faster and faster. This is his view, Zach. Can he go faster this lap?
I want to say he can. Rolling back off of turn number 4. Let's see what he gets. Doesn't go faster, at least not on our charts.
For the last 2 laps for him, the fast lap he had was a 24.233. That lap was a 24.389. That shows even the best here tonight are a little bit inconsistent. This is a really tough racetrack to get right, a really hard, really difficult car to drive here at Rockingham. So on top of the difficult racetrack, it's a difficult, challenging car. And again, I mean, he was another 10th and a half off of his previous lap time there. So these guys are super inconsistent tonight across the board as Maddox and Brandvold go after it.
Maddox is trying to recover, get back up there. He knows he's got the speed to do it. He knows he has the ability to contend for this win, and he wants to show that he can make it happen.
There he goes, down to the inside of Brandvold, looking for that 6th spot, maybe even 5th on Patinko. To the stripe they go. Maddox now to the inside properly of that number 81 car. He's going to dive. Patinko straight to the wall. 3 wide now behind with Patinko, Brandvold, and Sutherland.
This isn't going to end well.
It's going to get tight. Wow.
Sutherland makes it through. They're still side by side, though. Sutherland is well and clear of them. Brandvold throws it in there. Patinko crosses him over. We stay single file. Wow. I'm not going to lie to you, Andrew. I thought that was going to end badly. But caution is still out on the speedway. Oh, no. That's Eric Jensen.
I've not seen much of him tonight. He's going to come down to the pit lane immediately for that number 88 machine. And this is going to be a bit of an issue down to turn number 3. Watch this. He's right behind Cameron Carden and ahead of Braxton Skinner. Skinner's 68 laps down, but back in the race. Rattel, 76 laps down, but back in the race. Props to those guys. So here's a look at it for Jensen down to turn 3. Turns in. Maybe a bobble. Immediately that rear end comes around. And he gets Skinner up into the outside wall.
Heavy impacts for that 88 car. That's rough right there. Take another look at it from the top down. Just goes into the corner, sails it off in, and the rear end just steps around.
Let's dial up another one out there this evening as we've got pit stop, Zach. This could be the money stop, and this is very apparent. Everybody coming in. The pit window has opened up. You know, our own Zach King, he's got a parody account that he tweets from, and he listed the fuel window as being 74 to 82 laps, I believe. We are within that. We're at 75 to go. So this is perfect for these guys to come in and get their final stop of the day, but not everybody has done so. 4 cars stay out. King, Wood, Clark, and Walker. They have pitted within this stage aside from Johnny Wood Jr. As for Osmer, it was straight up 2 tires and go.
2 tires is a risky call right now.
What's riskier, and what I'm curious about, is why the 75 has not yet pitted since the end of the stage. So let's dial him up, Zach. Let's bring in driver 75, who's got a couple of wins now to his name this season in season number 4. Johnny, you stay out here going into kind of what might have been the final fuel run to the end. Why did you stay out when so many cars pitted?
Well, there is a guaranteed another caution, 100%. I'll put money on that. But yeah, I didn't think everybody would go down on pit road for that one. So I'm just kind of swinging it in the wind here. Hopefully a couple people behind me slip or mess up or something.
So kind of biding your time, waiting for it here, I guess. How's the car felt? I know there's been a couple of problems out there for everybody, it seemed like.
Yeah, I still got about 30 seconds of damage on it. So hopefully this fresh air kind of, if I get the restart, hopefully the fresh air will help it turn a little more. We've been pushing real bad, so that's why I've been up top the whole race.
And you're pretty much locked into the chase at this point, going through tonight. I mean, how does that feel good? Take that pressure off?
Yeah, we'll see how it goes going into this one. And then street course will be wild.
Fair enough. Johnny Wood Jr. leading us back to the green flag. Best of luck. We'll move him back up, let him get back to it. Green flag is back out, and we are racing once again here at Rockingham Speedway. Watch that 54 car, Zach. The black and silver Toyota on the top of the racetrack. That's Coulter Clark. It's interesting seeing him this far up when he's going for those stage points. Not stage points, chase. Going for the chase, that's what I'm talking about. And King up in second.
That King has stayed out quite a lot now. He stayed out under the last 2 cautions. Osmer's in the wall. A lot of drivers nailing it off of turn number 2. To the inside, though, Stallings goes to the bottom. Gray Walker goes to the bottom. Coulter Clark trying to hang on that top line. So is Zach King, but Stallings is just having an absolute monster run down there. I'm not going to lie to you, Andrew. I still don't really understand the 2-tire call here. That has the opportunity to make the car much, much looser. Stallings comes way up the racetrack, almost puts Coulter Clark in the wall.
Keep flipping back and forth between these cameras. It's just so good showing off where Stallings is entering these corners way down low, but it's going to work. He gets by Coulter Clark, and he's going to bring Ronnie Osmer down low. Those two moving forward. You see the stack up behind, everybody trying to go for spots as Stallings looks to the inside now of King. And he's going to have it here in 3 and 4.
Big run off of turn number 2. Osmer gets clear of Zach King. Here comes Coulter Clark back to the inside. Look at Scott Fritz trying to go through the middle. Brendan Maddox has found his way back up here as well. He's been working hard to get up there. Fritz bounces off the wall. They may get 3 wide going into turn number 1. Maddox thought about it, thinks better of it, gets side by side with Brandvold as Fritz, no, that was Zach King, nails the wall off of turn number 2. This is getting a little dicey here, Andrew. This is getting a little too much for these guys.
A little dicey. It's been dicey as King nails the wall there in 3 and 4. Drives back down off of it. You see the 2 wide, single file and 2 wide, battling right behind Zach King.
There's Maddox to the inside of Coulter Clark. Clark's in the wall again. Maddox was right on the back bumper of that 54 through turn number 3.
Maddox got loose again.
Now, oh no!
Falls back to the inside of Brandvold and Sutherland. Brendan Maddox, defending winner here at Rockingham, won stage 1. Since then, it has been abysmal. Down to the back end of the top 10 here, just trying to hang on to the race car and keeps getting loose off of turn 2. That has been his Achilles heel.
I think he really just needs to take a mental reset here at this point. Take the next 5 laps, cool your head, cool down, reset, refocus, and drive your way back up to the front like you were doing earlier. He's still in a good spot. He's running in the 8th position. He's not that far off the leader. He has the pace to get it done. He just needs to be consistent.
Meanwhile, Coulter Clark is loose and crashing. Down the back straightaway, crash between the 54 and 55. Coulter Clark, and Zachary Brandvold. Sutherland, I think, got a piece of that as well. But it was really all car 54. Where is he headed? We spoke with him earlier. Let's see, here off the corner. This is a lap prior. So watch that black 54, black and silver, and the red, yellow, and black 24 on the inside. When they come off the corner here, it's going to get tight, and Clark was loose the whole time. He was loose from the center of the corner all the way on. Let's show this again. This camera should show it decently. Right about here, the car rotates, and he's loose. Overcorrects a little bit. Boom, wall.
I feel like he would have it saved if Brandvold didn't run into the back of him, but there's nowhere for Brandvold to go. It's so hard to check up right there and just put yourself in a position to miss that incident, because if Brandvold's not there, Clark still goes into the wall 9 times out of 10.
You know what? It was the contact there from the 24. Isaiah did nothing wrong, but he was tracking out off the corner, and that is what shot Clark back up the racetrack. A combination of that and Brandvold being there, I think, is what did him in. But big pit stops now. Kyle Heath down to the pit lane. Johnny Wood Jr. has pitted under this yellow. Zachary Brandvold is in for service. There goes Coulter Clark out of the pit lane. Cameron Carden leaving the pits. Carl Pooler down there as well. He's been working on that car for what seems like an eternity. There we go. Cars pitting, though, under this caution. Gray Walker, one of them, along with Zachary King. 4 tires for each, it looks like. Johnny Wood Jr. also taking tires. And Sam Dyer still in the pit lane, actually. He just came back down the pit lane. Maybe topping up on fuel, maybe working on some damage.
Either way, he is out and away from the pit lane. Double up, ready to go, Andrew. We've got 61 laps remaining in this event tonight. We've got one more race after this before we roll into the chase. The points battles are still taking shape. 11 cautions for 32 laps. We've had 10 lead changes. That doesn't count lead changes throughout the lap. That just counts lead changes at the line. So it may be just a tad higher than that. Pace car makes a hard left turn onto the pit lane and into the restart zone. Green flag back in the air at Rockingham.
Down Thunder Alley, problems for car 51. Zach King down to the inside wall, spinning across the racetrack. Hold the brakes, buddy. Oh, my. Oh, don't go that way.
Oh, no. That's going to put some damage onto Rattel.
I think he got Pooler, too. Loose off the corner, down the racetrack. Inside wall, back up the racetrack. Let it roll a little too long. Off the brake. Pooler got the wall. Reversed into Rattel. Just a whole lot of bad going on there. Here's Pooler.
That's like a rinse and repeat of what Pooler did earlier.
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
And now for the 6th car of Rattel. So problems throughout the field lately. It has just been one of those kind of nights. Well, what we can do, Zach, is Eric Jensen will get a lap back on the top side of the racetrack and now be 2 laps down. what we can do here is take a look at what's upcoming for us at Pit Stop TV. Next up, we actually head out to Charlotte Motor Speedway, at least virtually here on the sim, for the North American Racing League as they take on the Roval. Should be a lot of fun. Somewhere that this series has been relatively recently, within the last year anyway. They've been to the Roval last fall, I believe. And I'm just excited, man. GT3 cars, the Roval, that is a match made in heaven, in my opinion. I was there when GT3 and GTLM went to, I guess it was GTD and GTLM, technically, because they were IMSA classes. But they went to the Roval back in 2020. And that was a deluge of a day. That was a pretty crazy race, but I'm excited to see these GT3 cars on the Roval this Thursday evening, August the 7th at 7:45 Eastern. From there, Zach, you can see we go to Homestead Miami Speedway for the regular season finale. And then it's more GT3 action next week from Donington Park.
Donington. That's a name I haven't heard in a while for a racetrack. It's a track I haven't exactly had much experience with either.
It's a fun one. We used to go there a lot with the Pacific GT3 series and, oh my gosh, British Sim Racers back in the day, back in like 2021 and 2022. But here we go. Green flag on the way. Racing once again at Rockingham Speedway. Problems. Osmer on the restart, 3 wide now for the 3rd spot.
Down to the inside, Evan Patinko taking advantage of the shenanigans on the restart. Sutherland to the outside. That 81 is not able to get the run he wants. Patinko falls back to where he was. Brendan Maddox on the outside now. Ronnie Osmer trying to make sure that he can hold on to it as Patinko loses ground to that top line.
On board with Brendan Maddox, he's cracked the top 5. Props to Brendan driving back through the field. We have been on his case about the fact that he got shuffled into traffic and has not recovered. Well, here he is, just about to hit 50 laps to go, and he has made his way back to the front. It's like the first quarter and the 4th quarter. That's where he thrives. The 2 quarters in between, not so much. Fritz, a nice lap there, a 24.069. That is solid work from 2nd place. The Dirt Racer starting to figure things out. Flying up on the racetrack, nearly into the wall there in turns 1 and 2. Nearly got the back end of Sutherland, or Stallings rather. Sutherland comes up on him. And here comes Osmer now.
Fritz has been absolutely glued to that top line, pretty much not really leaving it throughout the entirety of this race. He's just had so much success up there, so much speed. And I think we're really starting to filter into who we could expect to be in good contention for this win tonight, minus some jarring difficulties by taking themselves out of contention. And there are, in my opinion, some absolute standouts for nominations for Driver of the Day today. Some great performances by a lot of drivers today.
And we will soon get to that conversation. The North American Racing League Driver of the Day vote will be held on YouTube as always. Be on the lookout for that if you're watching this evening on YouTube. If you're not watching on YouTube, get over to YouTube at least for that vote. And cast your vote for tonight's Driver of the Day ballot. Up front, Dustin Stallings leading the way, and we are coming up on 50 laps to go this next time by the flag stand. The double lot has got a bunch of laps led. 48, in fact. 38 for his teammate Brendan Maddox, so they've already led about a half the race. More than half of what's complete as we complete lap 150, 50 to go. And those two have just been oh so strong here. Fritz has got some laps led, I believe. 28 to be exact. And Sutherland, none so far. Osmer's got 22. And there's Maddox back in 5th.
We are 3/4 of the way through this race, Andrew, and it has just been an up and down battle for so many different drivers all day today. I couldn't even tell you who has been the luckiest, who has been the unluckiest. It's just been a share all around for these guys. Back to single file. Saw a brief battle right there as Johnny Wood Jr. rolls up on the back bumper of Evan Patinko, who is having a very strong day so far. He's been rolling into this top 10, and we've touched on Evan Patinko before. We've talked about how he has shown a lot of good speed lately. He just hasn't been able to capitalize too much on the results. As you see Johnny Wood Jr. taking another look to the inside, fighting hard with this 81 of Patinko. I think that Evan has shown that he can compete for these wins, but he's just got to really get out of his head in a way. Drivers usually create situations that they put themselves in, and I could speak on that in a different manner, but I don't want to because I've been in the situations before myself. But Evan has put himself in situations that he has been able to contend for these wins. It just hasn't played in his favor, whether it be his own fault or somebody else's.
Throw all that into the fact that he doesn't really have teammates helping him right now where he did earlier this season. And it's getting that much harder to keep doing what he's been doing. But he is working to try and make it into the playoffs, into the chase this season. Kind of as a single car effort right now. So, imagine what he could do with a couple of teammates that are, similarly matched to him and able to help him out, get better lap times and whatnot, and help save the tires and such. So, just imagine what he could do in the right place as Johnny Wood Jr. comes up on him. Is going to try to go around the outside, and Johnny Wood is there. This is for 5th. Johnny Wood Jr. moving back on through. Possibly, Patinko sends it right back down low and hangs on to that spot for now.
I think that's a smart move right there. Get back to the top line. You give up that top line and you're going to go backwards. Johnny Wood Jr. is absolutely hounding on that top line now.
Johnny's got him now. Here he comes.
Yeah, big run on the top line.
Maybe not.
Again,
Johnny in the wall. That's going to stack up to Gray Walker.
Very close.
Cameron Gilmore moves by on the inside lane. And I can sing the praises of Gray Walker all day long. Got that win recently. I think it was, what was it, Indianapolis or St. Louis? Yeah, Indianapolis.
That was a big fuel mileage race, too. Everyone started running out at the end. Brendan Maddox ran out. Joshua Parent ran out. Zachary Brandvold almost ran out. So much shakeups in those last 5 laps.
So finally a win for Gray Walker. He's finally got Trading Pains Pro, so you see the proper number 18 on the side of that car now. He is making big money moves here in the BRB Buttkicker Cup Series. Good to see him moving up into that win column and adding a 1 next to his name, adding a tally next to his name. That is very good stuff there for Gray Walker. Another one of those drivers that was a rookie a season ago in season number 3, just like Brandvold and some others that we were watching so much through the course of last season and now this season. I also want to talk about somebody who's a couple laps down, and I'm not just highlighting him because he's one of our drivers, Zach, but Whiplash Racing's Cameron Carden has missed a bunch of races. He's been doing a lot of work on mission trips this summer. I'll be honest, I'm not personally religious, but I respect the work that is done. And he has put in that work over the course of the summer, going on, I believe, mission trips and trying to help those that are in need across the world. He went to South America, I believe, or Central America, one of the two, over the course of the summer. Missed a couple of races, so he's kind of out of contention for the chase. But he's back here this evening in a really good-looking throwback paint scheme. And you can see he's been committed now to, I'm going to go back through my notes because I can't really read the cursive there on the side of the race car. But if I go back to the screenshots channel here in the Discord, Rima Bible College. And he is so pumped about going to Rima Bible College. I believe they were in Oklahoma. He is pumped. He's ready to go, ready to make things happen in the name of the Lord that he believes in, and I think that's awesome. I really do. I think this is really good stuff. Away from all of that and back on the racetrack, Zach, he has stayed in this race all night long. He's had problems from the get-go. He's a couple of laps down, but he has not quit. much like Richard Wolser, who runs a spot behind him. These two guys and a couple of others have stayed in the race, have not left. They are sticking through it, trying to get all the spots they can. And on a night like tonight, that's what we need to see. We need to see guys sticking through it and trudging on through the mud, trying to stay in this race.
Absolutely. It's just a battle of attrition most days when it comes to being at the racetrack. You just have to stay in it. You have to fight. You have to fight through all of the hardship and all of the heartbreak to stay in it for, the battle that you are fighting. Just because you lose one battle doesn't mean you can't win the war, and 1 point can make all the difference sometimes. There is always that one little thing somehow, some way that could reshape. Everyone likes to say it. And there's just got to be some way, shape, or form that you can turn your race around. That's what you got to be saying in the back of your head as Cameron Carden is looking to go one more lap down here to the race leaders, rolling up on him. Moves out of the way to the bottom line. One might say he is still impeding, but ladies and gentlemen, the lap cars need to give up the preferred racing line. You can see these guys are rolling that top line, as are most of the field. We're almost 3 wide back there, actually. Just saw it out of camera shot. This is a battle just around the top 10. See Gilmore in the wall, Heath on the bottom, Brandvold leading this charge.
This is a mess of cars. Brandvold, Patinko, Heath, Clark, Gilmore, Wolsifer. Clark and Wolsifer laps down. The rest of these guys on the lead lap battling around the top 10. Patinko's 9th. There goes Carden out of the way. And Gilmore is 11th. He's got Clark to the inside, who's laps down.
Honestly, Andrew, I got a feel for someone like Richard Wolsifer. You just talked about it, him staying in it. But looking at where he's at right now and who he's fighting, this is top 10 territory right now. He's got the pace for it and he's got the speed for it, but his race has pretty much been derailed since lap 1. I mean, that is a gut-wrenching feeling to roll through this race, pretty much being almost out of full contention from the drop of the green flag. He went 7 laps down early on, went that all the way up to 21 laps down. He's been sitting, I believe, around 18, 19 laps down at the moment. He's still 19 laps down. That's your pole sitter right there. I mean, that just sucks for the man.
It does. It really does. But again, props to him for staying in the race, trying to get all that he can. And he's moved up. I mean, he was, 28th when that happened because he went to the very back of the field. He's now 19th. So a significantly better day. Still not good, but significantly better just by staying in the race. As Heath gets up into Patinko, crashing down the backstretch. They keep it straight. No! Wolsifer!
Man.
No con. There it is. There's the yellow. I've got no words, Zach.
I do. I jinxed it. The old commentator's curse.
Let's go back and see what happened here. We watched it live, but worth watching again. Watch Kyle Heath on the inside. He comes up, clears Patinko, but then gets loose and gets up into Patinko. And then Wolsifer behind it, trying to miss it, gets into the wall and spins down to the inside. He's lucky, though, Zach, that he did not hit that wall harder when he came back up.
It's the same thing that happened to Carl Poor. This is the third time we've seen that tonight.
At least. I'll look at it from the fan cam down here in turn 3.
That's the second time we've seen that happen to that's 2 different drivers that it's happened to now. That's twice. If I had a nickel for every time someone broke loose and turned right into the wall, I'd have 2 nickels. Which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice. As Ronnie Osmer stays on the racetrack. Big fake out.
Yeah, Osmer stays out on these tires. He must be banking on the fact that we are likely to have more cautions. We are inside of 30 to go, Zach. Nearly down to 25 once this race is restarted. We could be at 25 to go. Which is convenient because Dakota Bly, who ran the 25 this season, is in the YouTube chat. Dakota, good to see you. Wish we could see you on the racetrack, but is what it is. And As we carry on this evening, there's the race off the pit lane. 2 tires for Stallings. He must have seen how well it worked out for Osmer. Decided to give it a shot himself. There goes Fritz. There goes Sutherland. There goes Maddox. Then Wood. Then everybody else out of the pit lane. 3 wide race in the back between Jensen, Dyer, and Pooler. And Heath. Kyle Heath still in the pits here. An extended stay. Wonder if he requested the late checkout, because he is still down there.
Hey, at least you get the early morning breakfast.
Well, possibly. Yeah, I suppose.
See Andrew
As
Rattel
there's
back on the
choose.
pit lane.
We will have 26 to go when we go back green. I would have talked to somebody there, but we're getting too close to it, Zach, where I don't want to get in anybody's head. The way this race has been tonight, we go back at the race info. 13 cautions, 38 laps, 11 lead changes. I do not want to mess with anybody right now. I want to let them be. I'll simply observe and be happy doing so. While we do
the
so,
bringer of chaos.
yeah, you know, this is the first time I'm being conservative tonight. I don't want to. It's our first week back, Zach. We'll wait at least 1 week before being the bringers of chaos again here at Pit Stop TV. But I want to give a big thank you. I want to give a big thank you to the Buttkicker, Ascendance Trucks, Ideally, Sundance Pizza, Performance Food Group, and Maddox Graphics helping us out here this season with the BRB Buttkicker Cup Series. Green flag on the way, one more time at the very least. 26 to go, green flag back in the air. We are racing again at the Rock. Here we go for the top spot. Down to turn 3. Osmer closes the door. Stallings and Maddox is there.
Old tires versus new tires, 2 versus 4. Maddox has finally worked his way back up. Almost contact between the 15 and the 00. Going into the corner, Maddox is leaning on that back bumper. Osmer has to give way. Stallings to the race lead. Maddox to the bottom line. Fritz hanging on top.
Osmer!
Big clear.
Big send for Osmer. He cleans, well, almost cleans out the double lot. He hung on to it. I'm surprised. That was a big money move. And you can you can save the money at Menards. I threw it out the window, man. I had it lined up, whiffed it completely, sliced to right. Anyways, here comes Stallings, here comes Fritz, they back up. Osmer falls back to 5th. Here comes Sutherland. Maddox clear 4th.
Osmer tapped the wall, so Sutherland and Gilmore are going down to the bottom. Excuse me, that was Branville behind Sutherland. So Stallings clear out in front. Johnny Wood Jr. has benefited from it all as well. He moves himself into the 3rd spot. Now you've got Brendan Maddox back in the 4th spot. Sutherland, Osmer, Branville, Walker, Gilmore battling, and then Barnes, your top 10. This is turning into a real shakeup.
It's getting pretty crazy, coming up on 20 to go. Remember, Osmer stayed out there. He's on completely old tires, 50-lap old tires. The rest of these guys pitted for at least something, whether it was 2 or 4.
Understand the call there, too.
I mean,
Why stay out?
Well, he'll look like a genius if in 10 laps or so he pits and these guys don't, and then he gets positions. But he has to then get those positions, and that's going to be harder said than done. Oh, Stallings at the racetrack.
Oh,
into Fritz.
Now.
Here they come on the inside. Johnny Wood Jr. 3 wide across the stripe. Johnny Wood's got the race lead here at Rockingham.
Well, and clear into the race lead. Johnny Wood Jr. is going to take advantage of the incident between Scott Fritz and Dustin Stallings. Here comes Stallings again. He makes contact inside the wall.
Double lot down to some big pain on the inside. That is not fresh at all. And Brendan Maddox is going to lead off the corner. Johnny Wood Jr. sideways. Caution is out. Yeah, we needed a reset. That is... wow. We've got a couple of laps to look back on here.
We still have driver of the day to go through as well. Oh my goodness.
We do. So let's go back and see what happened here. I believe this is going to be queued up for the double lot and the 48. So watch Stallings. Does he get loose down here, or is this a lap prior? This is the lap prior, so it's all going to set up, I promise. I tried to go far enough back that we would have some good context, because boy do we need it.
I wonder if Stallings just got loose.
I think so.
into the corner.
We're about to see it down here in 3 and 4. I think he just gets loose, comes up the racetrack.
Oh,
he got tipped.
Hit him.
Yeah, he got tipped.
Then can we say, was that some sort of retaliation, or maybe he just came back up the racetrack?
For the lead, I doubt it. I would have to think he just got loose and came up the track at that point, and then this is off of the corner. Wood comes down. Stallings is there. Boom, inside wall. You can see the tire track's already there. And then something happens with Johnny Wood Jr. over here off the nose of Fritz. And that's the caution. Wow.
He got it safe, but kudos to the caution, because that could have been a huge incident with all of those drivers coming at him at race speed. Now flips the strategy, Andrew. There it is. Osmer pulling off the pit road. Patinko ahead of him. This could play into their hands now. I was going to say that strategy would really work out if they got a caution midway between those last 25 laps, and we've still got 19 laps to go. It'll be 18 when we cross the line, 17 to go when we take the green flag.
The problem here for Ronnie Osmer, he's not going to have as big of an offset to these guys that already had tires. He's only got about a 9-lap offset.
7 laps?
9 laps counting caution laps. So this is not going to be in his favor at all. Those other tires those guys have are not worn enough for him to have a big enough advantage to get by those guys. So he gave up racing for the lead. I think that was a big miscall. I really do. So let's reset here. Zach, I'm gonna talk and Phil and give you a second to think about your picks. So get to thinking about driver of the day picks. That way we can get these in quick.
I got him locked in.
Fair enough. Then when we go back green, as long as we get to a few laps of racing, we're gonna go through that and make our picks quickly under green. If we get a caution, we'll do it under that next caution. Regardless, keep an eye out on YouTube, and if you're on other platforms, go to YouTube at least for the vote. Keep an eye out for the driver of the day vote. It's coming at you real quick, as we are going to go back green with 17 laps to go. Brendan Maddox, Isaiah Sutherland, Scott Fritz, Zachary Brandvold, Gray Walker, Christian Barnes, your front 6. Carl Pooler into 7th. Green flag is out. They're trying to crash, and there they go. Caution.
Sutherland
Johnny
did
Wood.
not get rolling on the restart.
Johnny Wood's in that one.
Oh, no. Well, so much for 2 green flag laps.
Yeah, for real.
Riding on board with Sutherland here. Rolling second gear.
Watch the dash.
Holding about between 5,000 and 6,000 RPMs. Slow rolling through the gear.
There was no spike or anything. He just didn't go very fast, and that stacked at the top lane for Josh Anderson to have some problems here. Dustin Stallings as well, and then Johnny Wood Jr. nowhere to go.
That's
Ronnie
a big hurt
Osmer
for
in
Stallings.
between all of that.
Oh,
Wow.
Osmer getting through that. To be perfectly honest, Andrew, that's number 5 for my tally. Lucky performance, lucky break of the day nomination for Ronnie Osmer.
Wow. Well, Zach, I said if we had another caution, we'd do it quickly. Let's go ahead and do it. Driver of the day vote coming at you real quick.
Brendan Maddox and Scott Fritz.
Fair enough.
Those are my 2. Fritz has been in contention all day, and Maddox has just been a battle of attrition.
I tell you what, I like those picks. I'm going to bring the ticker back up. I'm going to help myself out here with positions gained on the graphic. And I already can't look past 2 of them that stand out. Isaiah Sutherland and Carl Pooler. Sutherland, I'll start there, and then Pooler is going to take a little bit more time. Sutherland here, straight to the front. By stage 1, I think, he was in the top 5 or top 10 at the very least. And has been there the rest of the race, Zach. I like this guy for this run to the end. I really do. He's known as Concrete King here in the BRB Racing League, but This might be his day to shine at Rockingham, and I got to go down to Carl Pooler. He's going to restart 6th, Zach. Remember, he started very back of the field, 29th at a 28-car race. Gotta love that. And he's been through every bit of attrition tonight. He's been through every bit of bad things happening. He's had multiple copycat incidents in the backstretch. Carl Pooler is somehow up nearly in the top 5. Zach, don't rule him out for the race win. I'm going to get that vote live over on YouTube. It is now up. Your 4 options are live. Carl Pooler going to restart 6th. He's got a great chance here to go for it at the end of this one. I'm excited to see what he can do as we come back around to the restart zone, this time by. Look at that view of everybody rolling by. Turn number 4 to the restart zone. 13 laps to go here in the Rev Sim Shop 200. Green flag back in the air at the Rock.
Sutherland's going around. Maddox got into him. Into the outside wall. Isaiah Sutherland. His day is done.
There's the yellow. He fires it up. That looked like some summer shootout caution calling there. Now, I don't mean that on the admins. I mean that on Sutherland came to a stop to make sure the yellow came out. He was not going to be denied. And boy, is that a theme in short track racing. Yes, but he was not going to be denied the fact that he needed a caution for that. Let's see what happened here. I would imagine it's pretty straight up between these two. A little bit of contact into the corner, I would guess. Oh,
Maddox came up.
That's tricky. That is really tricky.
You could call it a racing incident. You could absolutely call that a racing incident. I fully believe it because Maddox came up off the yellow line, but Sutherland was rolling down into the corner. If you look at it slow-mo here, that's not the most flattering angle. That just kind of puts it on Maddox's part. But if you kind of take a look at it in a slow-motion type view, you could really see just how those two kind of met in the middle there. And I mean, if you're Brendan Maddox, you're praying for that because that could be your race.
So watch this here. Isaiah comes down a bunch of lanes to get there, but that's his prerogative. Just like it's Brendan's prerogative to set his line, and his line was going to be an early apex, come back up in the center, come back down at a late apex. They met in the middle. I'm going to be interested to see how race control reviews because they have to be stricter than we are. But Zach, I think you and I pretty well agree that this is two guys going for the same piece of racetrack. They meet in the middle. Watch this again. Isaiah comes off the wall down, and he can do that. Like, that's his prerogative. They're both setting their lines. They just happen to intersect, and I'm surprised this doesn't happen more often. Honestly, I can't blame either driver in this case. I'd love to know what you guys think of the YouTube chat, but I can't blame either one. Neither one is expecting what happened to happen. One more look at it, and then we'll come back to live picture. And then I will say, Gio in the YouTube chat, I believe that's Braxton, he's making a very good point, Zach, because Isaiah does stop here afterwards. Like, he's obviously locking the brakes, coming to a stop. He still stops. He could have rolled sooner, but he waited on that yellow light. I don't know.
Looks like admins are debating, and full call is going to be reviewed after. Brendan Maddox keeps his spot. They're going to review it after. They thought it was clear, cut, and dry at the start, but per your point, it got a little mucky there at the end, which kind of created a little bit of a conundrum. So they're going to review it afterwards. We're going green with 9 laps to go. The new tires have moved up. Maddox and Barnes on the front row. Brandvold and Pooler row 2. New tires in row 3 with Osmer on top, Walker on the inside, and then Patinko right behind him, Andrew. Pace car's going to make that hard left turn. Here we go. This is where all the action's going to happen.
Inside of 10 to go. 9 laps to go at the drop of the green. Green flag is back out. Let's settle this thing here at Rockingham. 9 to go. Brendan Maddox has positioned himself back out front in another Rockingham race, but Christian Barnes, Zachary Brandvold, they run second and third. Here comes Carl Pooler.
Down to the inside, Carl Pooler trying to make a stab at it, trying to find his way back to the front. Ronnie Osmer on that outside line. 8 laps to go. Count them at the line. 8 to go for Osmer to try and put himself up into the front. He's had the speed all race long. He has the fastest lap of the race still, if I'm not mistaken, but he's got to find a way around, and he's got to do it quickly to the inside of Branville into 3.
Osmer all the way down to the apron there into turn 3, looking for daylight down there. He's found it, gets to the inside of Branville. Branville gets to the wall, but is going to hang on to the spot. Pooler, I thought for a moment, might not have had the car to hang under green, but he's doing so now as the fast lap of the race goes up to car number 23, your race leader, Brendan Maddox, setting new trails out front.
Maddox showing his stuff. He won the last race here, and he's looking to go on defense as we roll into the chase. He hasn't exactly shown that he has the ability to lose tonight because he has been fighting through it. Throughout this race, he has just had so many trials and tribulations. He spun on the back straightaway. He's got the lucky performance, lucky break of the race nomination for that incident on the back straightaway that almost ended his race. He's had so many incidents where he could have had his race ended, Andrew, and with 5 laps to go, 5 fingers off the flag stand, Maddox is just trying to make sure that he makes it back to the white flag.
Some great battles deep in the field, including here with Kyle Heath, Cameron Gilmore, and Evan Buttkicker. Buttkicker pitted 14 laps ago, but I think that was fuel only. He's got older tires in that car than it says. So he's just trying to hang on. Now up front for 3rd place, here comes Osmer on the inside. Oh my goodness! Get out of here with that! That is just so obnoxious.
Johnny Wood Jr. involved. Coulter Clark involved.
Yeah.
And rightfully so, Isaiah Sutherland has been disqualified by race control.
Saw the writing on the wall there. I'm not trying to pick sides. I really am not. Don't want any part in picking sides. This is ridiculous. Get out of here with that. Does not belong here. There's too much work put in by Adam Buzzio, Stephen Borbell, and everybody else in the admin team. Get out of here with that. I don't even want to show it again, Zach. That's frustrating. And that took out more than just Brendan. There were other cars involved in that. I have no words, Zach. I want to carry the broadcast here still, but I got no words. I hate that for the admins, and I hate that for Brendan.
I don't even know what to say. I don't like being biased. I feel like our position, and I know you can agree with me on this, is to remain impartial to things happening on the racetrack, and when things like that take place, it's hard to keep that neutrality when you see such an incident like that.
It just doesn't have any place in organized racing. You'll see the choose there. Barnes goes low. This has changed the race entirely. Barnes and Osmer are front row. Brandvold and Pooler. Pooler's still in this thing. Walker and Wood, your 3rd row. Honestly, Zach, I don't want to spend any more energy on it. It's happened. Everybody saw it. That's in the past. This has taken us to overtime, is what it has done. So we'll put up the Lucky Performance overtime rules. And, yeah, 2 laps, green lap, then a white lap. Then checkered will end it. If the green lap is completed, the race is official. If the green lap is not completed, they restart. After all attempts are used, a caution can end the race. So basically, we'll restart here. We'll have 2 laps to go. If they complete the first lap, the race will be over the next lap. If they do not complete it, we'll restart again. Here we go. Restart zone. Green flag is back out. Christian Barnes out front at Rockingham. Green, white, checkered overtime action here at Rockingham Speedway. Let's go.
off of turn number 2. Barnes leads him down into turn number 3. Osmer has tried so hard to get back up to the race lead. He's into second. He's got a shot at it now. White flag is in the air. 1 to go. Presented by Whiplash Sim Cams. We've made it to the white flag. There won't be another attempt at overtime. And Barnes is now looking to add his name to the list of winners here in the BRB Buttkicker Cup Series.
He's already done it. He's got one. He's going for 2 this season. Christian Barnes might have just been in the right place at the right time. Here he goes. Osmer a run. A drag race to the stripe, but Christian Barnes will not be denied. Win number 2. It's the Rev Sim Shop 200. Ronnie Osmer goes fastest, but Christian Barnes is posted to victory lane.
What a finish there between those two. Saved his race and saved big money at Menards with that one. What a win for Christian Barnes. See, that's how you work that in, Andrew. See?
I'll give it to you. That was good. It was smooth. Burning it down is Christian Barnes here at Rockingham Speedway. Job well done by driver number 27. Hey man, he was in the right place at the right time, took over right when he needed to. I'm not even going to say he fell backwards into that because he didn't. He positioned himself. He was up front throughout the race. He positioned himself where he needed to be at the right time. So as the blimp hangs out behind the tower, there we go, that's a better view. We will have a heck of a post race on our hands, I'll tell you that much.
I'll tell you. What a thriller. What a win for Christian Barnes. Locking it down here. And parking it in victory lane on the front stretch at Rockingham Speedway. Gets himself into good position, rolling into the chase in 2 races time. Now 1 race left. Homestead Miami Speedway.
Let's take a look back at your unofficial race results when it's all said and done. Christian Barnes with the race win. Look at that, 6 laps led. It was all right there at the end. Barnes with the win. Osmer P2. Zachary Brandvold, what about that? 3rd place. Gray Walker 4th. Carl Pooler, that should be the driver of the day leader right there. Carl Pooler comes back to a top dang 5. How about that for Carl? We talked about the bad luck all season long. The last 2 seasons, really, I'd say even the last 2.5 seasons, since we came on coverage, he has had bad luck, and I hate that. But good to see a top 5 for him tonight. Johnny Wood Jr. 6th, Cameron Gilmore, Dustin Stallings, Coulter Clark, and Sam Dyer a top 10. Clark and Dyer are very much in the race to make the chase.
Just an absolute heartbreak rolling into 11th right here. Brendan Maddox. What could have been? Finishing P11 on the night, 2.8 seconds off the race lead. Kyle Heath right behind him in the 13th spot. Or excuse me, finishing 12th in the car number 13. Kyle Heath, 13th spot goes to Scott Fritz after fighting off just all the hard chargers up towards the front of the field. Evan Patinko finishes right behind him in the 14th spot. Josh Anderson, the first car, 1 lap down. He ends up in the 15th spot. 16th goes to Eric Jensen. 20 oh my goodness, I'm getting tongue-tied now. You gave it to me, Andrew. Number 21 finishes 17th. Cameron Carden, he stayed in it, and he gets himself a top 20 finish in that 17th position. 3 laps down, albeit Braden Van Wingerden, he ends up 33 laps down, the 18th spot. Richard Wolsifer ends up 34 laps down when it's all said and done. Holds on to that 19th spot, and then in the 20th spot, Southwest Airlines bringing it home, 20th spot, Andrew Rattel.
Let's move on back to 21st position. Braxton Skinner, Dakota Camper back there in the 22nd spot. 23rd, Josh Parent. 24th, Matthew Selby. 25th, Jared Hughes. I mean, all these guys had early exits. All of them had bad luck tonight. Hughes there in 25th. Borbell. That's interesting. Okay. I see what's going on here now, Zach. So, Borbell is credited with 26th because Sutherland, King, and Renner, the back 3 of the field tonight, have all been DQ'd.
Disqualified.
Yes, all been DQ'd. Roger's here as well just to help out with the admins, but well, gonna be an interesting conversation with some drivers after the fact. Zach, let's bring in race winner. Nobody's reported down to the interview booth just yet. That's okay. We'll go and drag them down here. Two Menard paint schemes out front, but the first of them driven by driver number 27, Christian Barnes. We'll grab the Meatball Motorsports driver for a comment. We talked to him after winning the first stage of the season back at Daytona. He got a race win so unpolitely to us, I might add, while we were gone. I mean, I can't believe it. But Christian Barnes, now your second race win and your first year on Pit Stop TV. How in the world did you fall into the right place at the right time for that?
Man, I did not have the car to even be close, to that position. I just kept working on it. I kind of put myself at a disadvantage by taking my tires too early. So, that final time I took my tires, which was like 30 to go, or 30, 40 to go, that was basically it. I got no more tires. I just had the restarts go my way. I was able to accelerate a little better than some of the guys at least, so I had that going for me. Some people were spinning the tires and giving me positions. Late in that race, I actually saw the 24 pop up on the thing, and I was like, oh, that's not looking good. And then he just kept getting closer and closer, and Zach was I was talking to Zach, and I was like, the 24 is waiting on the 23, and I thought maybe he was just gonna slow him down, but once Brendan got side by side with him, he just, I didn't expect that. But yeah, I knew the 15 had fresher tires than me, so I knew he was gonna be really hard to beat if I didn't get that good of a start. But luckily, I was able to get a good restart and just barely get him at the line.
You just got him there at the line. And two Paul Menard paint schemes. How about that? How did you land on the Paul Menard paint scheme for Throwback Week here?
I was talking to Brendan Maddox. He actually makes most of my paint schemes, and he actually was the one that recommended Paul Menard since he had the 27, and he doesn't make many Paul Menard schemes. So, we went with this. I chose the style of Paul Menard's scheme, and when we found out that the 15 was gonna have the same idea of Paul Menard, we basically made it our thing of just beating him specifically, and somehow we came 1-2.
1-2 at the line. Christian, congratulations, a big race win for you. And if we look at this in the scope of the chase as well, this is going to move you ahead of guys like Dakota, Brendan, Isaiah. I mean, this is going to have you, I think, in the top 5 here, potentially, of the chase going into the chase. How's that feel?
It feels great. I felt like the past few weeks haven't really gone my way. Like, I haven't been able to finish, usually where I'm running. So to finally, get a finish, I didn't expect to win, but at least to get a finish, and finally have it go my way, really definitely helps.
There you go, Christian Barnes, position number 1 when it's all said and done. Christian, good to talk to you again. It's been a while. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Christian Barnes with the race win here at Rockingham Speedway. Zach, let's go on down to second place. I got to hunt around for him. Ronnie Osmer after this race. He has got to be tired. He did a lot of work going back and forth through the field. Ends up here P2.
Yeah, Ronnie Osmer bringing it home P2. Someone who thinks he probably could have had the race win locked down early on in this race. Ronnie, you were fast. And when I say fast, I mean you were lights out, lightning fast. One of the top few drivers that really had a legitimate shot at winning this race on raw pace alone. I mean, what are your thoughts, man, rolling out of that, especially with the tire strategy that you pulled there at the end in the last stage?
I have lots of miles on this track from running multiple Rockingham 508s with the 87 cars, and so just I have so much experience of what to do to save tires at this track, but just the bonehead decision of mine to stay out because there were next gen tires. There was literally almost no fall off on lap time. So as soon as after like 2 or 3 laps, so I was hoping I could hold them off for 2 or 3 laps and defend with dirty air and track position, but just when I stayed out, and that didn't work. So then I had to pit for tires, and then I could have had something for Christian at the end, but the damage on my nose from that restart incident that Josh and Dustin were in, I was so much tighter than I was all race. So I just did what I could to try to get there, and couldn't do it. Couldn't be hard for Menard.
And I just want to go through your thought process for a moment when it comes to the tire strategy, because we up here in the booth we're going over it quite a bit, and to be perfectly honest, I'm going to be a bit of a devil's advocate here. I was not for that tire strategy. I didn't think necessarily that it would be the potential best move going forward, especially since really it was banking on a caution, especially in that short run. So going into that, strategy, that line of thinking, what was the main basis of the strategy, and how do you think it was going to end up getting you that race win?
Well, I'll probably prove your point even more to be mad at me about doing it.
Oh boy.
I did 2 tires on the stop before that.
Oh, no.
So, yeah. So, like, even my teammates were telling me, like, dude, just take the tires. But I was ever since the update on the next gens, was I think probably a month or so ago now. It's been all about track position with these cars. No matter where we go, no matter the tire wear, it's always been about track position everywhere. And I felt like part of me was thinking, all right, all it takes is for whoever started next to me to just spin the tires a little bit on the restart, and I could hold them off and keep it clear, keep momentum, keep block with dirty air. But they had the perfect restart. I think it was Dustin had the perfect restart. Tried to hang on to it around the top, and the heat cycle on the tires, instead of like earlier in the race where we would get a few laps on them and they would have a heat cycle on them, and when they cool down, they go back, they'd become even faster. But at that point, there was just too many laps on them for when they cooled back down. It made them a little bit tighter, a little worse, and I tried to hang on up there as best as I could. And as soon as I fell back to about 5th or 6th, I wasn't dropping anymore. I could stay up there. I needed the restart to go my way, and it didn't. That's all I had.
Well, you still put on one heck of a show up there at the front. Did all you could to get the race win, and you set the fastest lap of the race at the end of the race. Might have had a little help from the wall, but you did it anyway, and congratulations on your second place finish. Definitely looking forward to seeing how your run goes as we roll into the chase here. Congratulations again.
Yeah, thank you very much.
I believe you have Mr. Zachary Brandvold standing by for that 3rd place spot, Andrew.
I sure do. It'll be Zach Brandvold who finishes 3rd, as you see the replay there on the screen. Let's go back and talk with driver 55, Zach. We kind of talked about you all night long as somebody who impressed pretty early on in Season 3, had a bit of a lull, has come back here in Season 4, and is in a really good spot for the chase. This is only going to solidify you even further here into the chase, but how did you get to this point to finish 3rd place?
Oh, what a wild race. I hope it was as enjoying to the fans watching as it was to drive. Just the unpredictability all day. Yesterday in the practice race, we had much cooler temperatures, so I think most of the drivers coming into this race, even though we had like the hour practice session, came in with relatively no experience running on such high track temps. I think we were up at 120, 125 range in practice, so definitely a learning curve in practice. And I got up to 4th in the first stage, but then I spun out coming to the green. So it was a learning curve all night. Just kept my nose in it, tried to stay out of wrecks, tried to be super careful, and ended up rewarding myself with a top 3 finish.
Now, obviously, there were a handful of crashes, a handful of moments ahead of you at the front of the field, and some special circumstances at the end, but what's it going to take to get you 2 spots higher? You finished 3rd here tonight. What's it going to take to get you into victory lane at the end of one of these BRB races? What kind of track, what kind of situation, what's it going to take?
just that little bit more that I just have to have a little bit more trust in the car. I think I was a little bit lacking that, towards the end of the race. Restarts were a big issue for me, just because I spawned on that stage 1 restart, so I was really careful throughout the night. I was restarting behind Brendan when that second to final restart, and Christian was the outside, and I thought I was in a good position to take P2 and didn't get a good enough restart. So that's something I definitely need to work on, but I love road courses. We got one coming up in the playoffs, and as long as I make it, which looks to be, fingers crossed, in a good position, maybe I can pull one off there.
So maybe at Chicago for Zachary Brandvold. Zach, good to talk to you when it's all said and done. Congratulations on the third place effort. Hopefully we'll talk to you again soon.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys.
Zach Brandvold, P3 tonight. And Zach, it sounds like we have got word as far as who has won the BRB Maddox Graphics Bonus Brawl.
I would assume Dustin Stallings?
That is correct. Dustin Stallings has been announced as the winner of the bonus brawl. So congratulations to Dustin. That'll be an extra bit of cash handed his way, which also feels like a best in show vote, I feel like, almost, because considering he's got such a fantastic paint scheme honoring Buckshot Jones on that 00 tonight. But want to give a big congratulations to tonight's driver of the day. Zach, can you guess who it was?
Carl Pooler.
Carl goddamn Pooler has won the driver of the day vote. I'm impressed. I didn't know if the league would be able to pull together for it, but yes, Carl Pooler. This is recognition of somebody staying in the race, never giving up, no matter how much he's beaten down, coming back up to the front, position number 5. I am blown away by that, Zach. I'm not sure what else I can even add.
That he spun twice and I should have 2 nickels.
Well, yes, there is that. there is that. But seriously, what a night for him.
Job for Carl.
Started 29th out of a 28-car race. I'll never get over that. As high as 4th by the end of it, but ends up 5th. That is huge. So as I have a bit of a coughing fit over here, I need a drink of water. Stand by. It wasn't a drink of water, it was a drink of Rockstar. But anyway, I am so impressed. So
it says water drinks Rockstar anyway.
Yeah,
Finishes 5th anyway.
Yeah, there you go. See, we're just making storylines here. I gotta say, congratulations to Christian Barnes, Ronnie Osmer, Zachary Brandvold, Carl Pooler, Dustin Stallings. They're all winners in one way or another here this evening. What a race this was, Zach, and we still have one more to go before the chase.
Yeah, we do. Miami up next, 165 laps next week on August 12th. That should be a lot of fun. I think we're going to be in for a show come next week. We'll have to see how things shake up after what was an eventful Rockingham race tonight. And then we roll into the chase. Nashville, Super Speedway, Chicagoland. No, not Chicagoland. Chicago Street Course. So you're going from an intermediate to a street course to a Super Speedway to a also Super Speedway back to an intermediate with Talladega Auto Club and Las Vegas to round out that 5-race chase. I'm here for it. I'm ready for it. I'm hyped for it. These guys always know how to put on a show come chase time. I'm absolutely pumped.
I would call California an intermediate in terms of how it races, the package it has. I would say intermediate. If we're calling Rockingham a short track based on the package, then I'm going to say California is an intermediate. All right, so intermediate, street course, super speedway, intermediate because of the way it races, and then another intermediate there at Las Vegas. It is still going to be a crazy run to the end, and of course we have to get through the intermediate next week at Miami for 165 laps on August 12th. Thanks for joining us here today on Pitstop TV. Thanks so much for watching. One more look at what's upcoming for us here, Zach. Next up, we take GT3 cars around the Roval, and then next week we punch in the 12 drivers fighting for a spot in the chase. And then next week as well, we go on to Donington Park in GT3 cars as we get ready for that round at... well, actually from there, we'll actually have majors on August 17th from New Smyrna in super late models, and then we get to think about the BRB Racing League racing into the chase going into Nashville. So a bunch of broadcasts coming up here at Pit Stop TV. It's going to be a very fun August, Zach.
And it is, and so many places to follow along. PitStopTV.com, Facebook.com/PitStopTV, Instagram.com/Pit_Stop_TV, TikTok.com/PitStopTV1, Twitch.tv/Pit_Stop_TV, YouTube.com/PitStopTV1, and X.com/PitStopTV_. So many great places to follow along with Pit Stop TV. So many great clips that get posted on social media to keep you hooked on the action and hooked on the pit stop.
I like it. I like it. It works. Once again, thanks so much for watching this evening. It's been a pleasure. Gotta give a big thank you, though, to our partners, the Buttkicker, Ascendance Trucks, Idealies, Sundance Pizza, Performance Food Group, and Maddox Graphics helping us out here with the series. And, of course, a big thank you to our partners here at Pit Stop TV, Whiplash SimCams, ATVO, CST's Business, Cody, Williams Design, Lucky Performance, and the North American Racing League. That'll do it for us this evening from Rockingham Speedway. Zach, thanks for joining me once again here as we get back into BRB action. What a way to kick things off. Drama throughout. We'll see y'all next week at Miami. Until then, make sure to join us this weekend, or this Thursday, at the Roval for the North American Racing League GT3 cars. We'll see you there.